Okay, hello everyone. It's been 3 months since we checked out the demo for Badgersaw, and lo and behold, Steam Next Fest turned up, and my good old pal here, Vincent, otherwise known as Xetoil to most of you, has asked me to look at the updated version, soon to go on full sale, retail, come March 10th. So not too far away, less than 2 weeks. And Zito, why don't you introduce yourself to the audience here?
Yo, what's up? I made the game, fam. I'm not really down on this streaming thing too much. It's my first time doing this, so
Aw, he's camera shy. Make
yeah.
sure Vincent has a good time, folks. Don't be too harsh on him. Also, please make sure to ask him the most embarrassing questions you can come up with. So, a little bit of fun trivia before we start.
What a shame. He was a good man. What a rotten way to die.
Hey, welcome, Dine, and thank you for 48 months. What would I do without you, man? So, I'm gonna turn the game volume up, and like I said, I looked into the demo for Badgersaw earlier. Now, here's the thing. We're actually gonna restart the game from scratch, and I'm gonna be just casually playing through without paying too much attention to what's going on. I'll let you guys like read through the text, because technically I already did this for chapter 1 or whatever is included in the demo, because I kind of want to draw more attention onto the inner workings behind this project, and also get the most out of Vincent here, because it is early morning on his end, and
Yeah, man.
chances are he might clock out. So yeah, let's take a look at beginning and see how much different it is compared to what was presented to me 3 months ago. It may not seem like a whole lot of time, but at the same time, this guy here, he's been churning like a madman on this project. Yeah. So, how long did it actually take you to go from start to finish on Badgersaw?
The whole game took 7 months.
Is that like including the conception phase?
I thought about it like 10 years ago.
Oh, geez, like. So the very like first draft, you could say, was all that time ago.
Like there was no playable game back then, but I have arts that I drew with watercolors and ink from 10 years ago, just lying around.
Do you still have like those earliest drawings and concept art?
I do. They're gonna go in the game at some point, but not yet.
Oh shit! Yo, guys, there's gonna be DLC for Badgersaw.
There's gonna be
Pog?
5 chapters in total, so this is chapter 1.
Dude, this is your big chance to flex on Toby Fox and make the whole game. Well, at this rate, it's gonna be maybe 3 years at the way you're going.
Yeah, I'm expecting about 3 years.
So I think a lot of people, including myself, are wondering, where did the name Badgersaw come from? How does one even come up with such a unique moniker?
I named it after his mohawk.
I might be missing the joke here, but what does one have to do with another?
I was thinking about a chainsaw. I was thinking about a character with a big mohawk, and I don't know, I was really into chainsaws at the time. I was like 17. And I was playing lots of survival games.
Well, that's not quite the answer I was expecting, but whatever gets you across, I suppose. Funnily enough, that reminded me of when I was playing Ultima Online all those years back. I have a I had a dude in my guild called Neando, and at one point I remember asking him, how do you even came up with a name for a character? And he's like, oh, you know that yogurt Danon? I just looked at it and rearranged the letters in my head. So,
Like, when you make a lot of characters, names just start popping out of thin air for them.
how about Tantalum then?
That Tantalum was named by my friend is after the element Tantalum.
Ah, I see.
Mr. L was also named by my friend. The joke is, what does the L stand for?
Do we know? Does that actually get elaborated on?
In universe, I don't think I'm going to reveal it. In real life, what it is just too like funny to be put in universe.
It's funny to me
Too
because
emotion breaking.
from the Mugen days, I actually knew a guy called Mr. L. I shit you not.
Bring him on the stream.
I don't know, man. We haven't been in touch for many a year at this point. I'm not even sure if he's still alive and kicking.
Last night, I woke up and I randomly remembered the name of some guy I used to play Halo 2 with on Xbox Live.
Human memory is a funny thing, isn't it?
Literally.
So yeah, the cool thing about this tutorial is that everything is clearly explained by text. The mechanics behind it are pretty unique, I find, even for indie RPG standards, with the whole actually abusing your teammates to give them more MP mechanic.
I'm glad you find it unique.
So when you were like implementing this, did you actually think of any other mechanic that came close, or was that like completely your doing?
Malice and motivation were literally the first ideas I had. Badgersaw, when he was the original draft of Badgersaw, was much more of like a unlikable character, and I made him more relatable just as I got older and like wiser, and also after a little bit of feedback on early drafts. And
Oh.
Tantalum is based on my friend's personality, he's like a really skilled individual but has no motivation to do anything, and it's just kind of like an in-joke.
Does he know?
He knows, yeah. He's playtesting the game, actually.
What a swell guy. And with a sense of humor. So I imagine first you start off by just compiling these ideas, like putting them on paper, and then gradually implementing them through your software of choice.
Yeah, it usually works something like that. The plot of Badgersaw, there's a skeleton in a Word document, and that skeleton of a plot has been changed many, many times because it can be really hard to make a complicated story make sense. So, like, I come up with a draft, and even if it doesn't make sense, I kind of start writing that, and then when it gets to parts that don't connect well, those parts kind of get worked out along the way when I'm writing the actual story. And a lot of the in-game the stuff that happens to the characters, like the events, a lot of those actually just get written in the programming software. I just think of them while okay, something has to happen in this room. What would be cool to happen in this room? And I program it in as I think about it.
Be honest, how many times did that Word document get altered before you settled in on a script?
It's like so much has changed. Like the very first draft didn't have half of the things that are actually in the final game. Like the practicality of making a game changes the way that the story has to go a lot of the time. Because you need like stuff for the player to do, and that stuff has to be kind of entertaining and fun, and there needs to be some motivation to pull the player towards doing more things. So like Lord of the Rings kind of story or something like that doesn't always work.
Yeah, with Lord of the Rings, there was just like a lot of research and meticulous planning on Tolkien's part. I did get to at one point view an exhibition of his works, and like that dude was pretty much a Renaissance man living in our age.
It's really impressive
Uh,
how like,
uh, Jesus, like
how
master of
knowledgeable he was. Yeah.
linguistics, history. He dabbled in cartography just to draw all those maps on his own. It's insane to think about just how talented he was.
Yeah, something to aspire to.
So, looking back at what's basically chapter 1 as it is now in its final form, would you say you got close to what you wanted to accomplish with it? Or did some
It's
stuff
way
have to get
bigger
cut?
than. Yeah, what was that last bit?
Did you actually have to cut some stuff?
Yeah, almost nothing was cut. The one thing was cut, but that thing was cut in service of a different feature. These two features are competing with each other,
Oh, I see.
and I had to choose between them because they kind of occupied the same space in the flow of the game.
Are we talking like
That was the only thing
gameplay
that was cut.
mechanics?
It was a secret last boss that you could find.
Ah,
Yeah, and I was gonna have him like hidden away in a secret room that you could only find if you did literally everything in the chapter as a kind of like like a reward, you know?
yeah.
And I ended up putting in a comedic scene as a reward instead, and the two kind of conflicted with each other. Like it felt weird to have both, so I got rid of the boss.
This part that I'm actually going through, so the beginning of chapter 1, did it change much in the final version compared to what I've gone through?
It got bigger, like it basically scope. Well, I wouldn't call it scope creep because it got bigger mostly because I had extra time.
Gotcha.
Lots of ideas were not in the final draft. Pretty much the first draft had only 2 of the bosses, and there's no 3 of the bosses, and there's 5 bosses in the whole thing. So 2 bosses were like added, just because I felt like the game would benefit from having 2 more bosses, and a lot of the interactions, like pretty much all of the interactions with like the social interactions with the non-player characters, pretty much were all ad hoc. They just naturally were added to the game.
Does that include the boss that I actually found in the demo?
He was in the dog boss, Jacqueline, was actually not in the original plan. The other 2 bosses were in the plan. The
Really?
spider and
So you plan out the spider fella?
Yeah, the spider was one of the first ideas I had.
Now, Jacqueline, we'll get to that one eventually, but looking at him, I can't help but ask. You play Planescape Torment, right?
Yeah.
Okay. How much the design was inspired by the Glabrezu?
Like none of it actually. I didn't think
Really?
of that,
Because
that you pointed
when I
out.
thought about
No.
those upper appendages, there was like, those are the claw things that the Wolfman has.
I see what you mean, yeah. Now, but I just thought it would be scary to give him hooves.
It is a
You
Bloodborne reject, I
know
will
what
admit
it
that
is?
much.
It is I've watched videos of horses accidentally killing each other before, and I find it really terrifying that like they can just do that because they're just super strong, but they don't have very much like control over their legs when they're only on 2 legs, right? When they're standing on 2 legs, they can't really control where their front 2 legs or their back 2 legs kind of land, and so they accidentally land on small creatures and stuff, and they kill them. And I thought that was terrifying, and so that's where the idea came from.
Okay, we're getting to the one of the core mechanics of Badgersaw, where you actually have limited supply of rations, which converts to the amount of save slots you can make. So basically, every save attempt counts. So you gotta potentially replay this a couple of times to get the hang of it and progress smoothly from the game, which I imagine that might draw a couple of people away, but in the current day indie market where roguelikes and roguelites are so immensely popular with plenty of folk, this might draw some eyes.
Yeah, you know, like from a game design perspective, like there's a lot you have to think of sometimes. Like, for example, like difficulty options in games is something I didn't want to put in Badger, so like a hard mode and stuff, but I wanted the game to be hard, which is why there's a challenge. You get scored at the end, and there's a challenge about like, did you use this many rations or did you use more than this? So you can kind of enforce a harder difficulty on yourself, saving less.
Also, like the old school approach where you don't really have a variable difficulty, but it's like
Yeah, but
built
you can.
around it in the
Yeah,
core.
yeah. And I also wanted the first chapter to be a kind of tight experience. Like I wanted the entire game to be kind of self-contained, and like I wanted every element to feed into the theme of being trapped. And that's why I decided to make limited saves. I don't think the whole game will be this way, but each chapter I kind of want to be powerful as a standalone, like almost as a standalone mini game by itself.
Oh, so you're thinking
And
like just changing up the pacing as you go?
yeah, I'm thinking of like kind of changing the mechanics. The battle system will stay the same, but everything and like basic things like it will have the same identity as a game. So like talking to people and stuff, swapping skill, all of the core mechanics will be there, but the game feel of each chapter I want to be different.
Right, but I do remember you mentioning this once that it's still gonna revolve around these three, right? Like they're gonna be the core
Yeah,
NPCs, and you're not really gonna add anyone else as at least a permanent.
it's going to be one
addition?
continuous story. There's going to be bits where other characters drop in, but you won't be able to control them.
Ah, I see. Are you thinking more like what Velvedek did with the temporary party members?
I haven't played Further Deck yet, but if you think about like
It's more
how
like
in
just
Persona 3,
sometimes a random character will drop in as a party member for a specific part of the story, but then they'll go back to your default lineup.
I see. You know, in Persona 3, how you don't control the party members, but you control the main character.
Well, that kind of changes in modern iterations, but I get you.
I only played the old one, but in Persona 3, yeah, it's like that. It's like characters who aren't these three. I'm thinking, obviously, I haven't made it yet, but I'm thinking of doing it like that, so they kind of just work on the clock by themselves, and you only control the main three characters.
I noticed this, that it's appeared now in the final game. Like an actual inventory screen together with some flavor text on the party members and their abilities. Behold
man,
the
this is fun to
beard.
make.
Oh, I actually forget that happens during the talk with your talk between Badgersaw and Mr. L. Is the beard a Deus Ex Machina? Does it actually play a role later on?
What was that? Sorry, I was reading the chat.
Is the beard from Mr. L like an actual plot point that gets explored?
Kind of.
Also, guys, if you have any questions of your own that would like to ask Xetoil here, fire away. Because I do
Thank you,
have.
Dan. Have you played the game?
You can get the demo, by the way. I kind of vaguely remember what to do here, so I'll at least try to play from memory so we can hopefully get past where the demo ends, but we'll see how things are progressing. Unfortunately, I had a pretty long work day, so my brain might not work as it should at this hour, but we'll try our darnest. I see. If you do want to catch the VOD for the demo, it is up on YouTube. Now with Twitch's more strict storage policies, I did have to make sure I moved all of the current VODs on my archive channel, because 100 gigabytes won't get you so far. It's it's not as spacious of a storage as would expect.
Well, the game comes out on the 10th of March, so 1 week after Next Fest. The full version. By the way, this is the full version of the game. This is the retail version.
You will see some major differences, mostly on how much the game is polished. I can already see that the art has definitely been touched up. I am a fan of the hand-drawn style. Like, it's like a nice mix between clean shading, but also this like rough artwork, like when how Badgersaw is holding map. I think that adds a lot of charm to the game.
Thank you. These kinds of things freak me out when I'm actually making the decisions.
I do have to ask, was all of this, like the planning, coding, music, all you, or did you have some external help?
This game was 100% made by me. The only thing I didn't make is the engine.
Jesus Christ, and all within a span of 7 months, guys. That is dedication. I am genuinely impressed.
The main menu music I wrote 10 years ago.
Oh man, and you've been sitting on that MP3 all this time.
Literally, I've been sitting on that for 10 years.
So, how much would you say was already, like, done when you really got into the meat of developing Badgersaw?
So the battle system, I had another prototype game. I had a bunch of prototypes, as like people who want to be game devs do. The battle system kind of came from another prototype that I had, that I then like edited it to work for Badgersaw, but it was super bare bones. There was no initiative system, and you could just attack the enemies, and the enemies would use a single attack back at you. And
this beer is getting so much abuse right now. You have no idea.
That was all that was done.
What do you have against facial hair, dude?
Well, I have a huge beard myself, man.
Oh, so it's self-deprecating humor.
When I wrote this, actually, like the very first like part of the game, and the like intro, like, you know, talking to Mr. L and taking his beard and stuff like that, all of that was written like 10 years ago.
Hey, what's up, Run? Free stream streak, he's still going. Alright, I believe we have to leave this place for now.
Yeah, actually, dying like point and click adventures were a big inspiration for me when I was making this game.
Ooh, do you have like any games to shout out in that regard?
The game that inspired me was at the classic Monkey Island.
Yo, let's go. Oh, I have such vivid memories of playing Secret of Monkey Island. That's actually probably going to be a stream game in the future. Like, I've been at that several times.
There is no Honey Badger variant, but I should definitely make one.
So, who would you say from the main cast fits the Guybrush Threepwood phenotype the most?
That's tough, but it's probably Tantalum.
I think he's...
It's the guy in the corner, isn't it? Corner guy that you haven't shown on this stream yet. Wait, we'll get to him eventually.
I know who are you referring to. Oh yeah, we'll get to him. We just have to explore the map first. And yes, there is 4-4 breaking humor, because every quirky indie RPG needs it these days. Oh yeah, how much have you paid attention to other indie RPGs while working on Badgersaw? Like, did any of the, say, classics, like Human Nikki, Off, did they inspire you?
Like,
a genius admires simplicity.
Intense amount of paying attention to, especially games which were being made at the same time as Badgersaw. And yeah, generally, when I was younger, I would play a lot of, like, you mentioned Yume Nikki. I would play like a lot of those RPG Maker games with my mates on stream, like on Skype back in the day. So probably, yeah, I took inspiration from that, like subconsciously.
Are there any like indie games being worked right now that you're actively rooting for? Because I'm sure that,
Yeah.
especially during Steam Fest, you had the opportunity to check out a lot of upcoming projects.
The game I'm probably most looking forward to is so I'm a massive XCOM fan, and the OG developer of XCOM, the British guy, is making a hybrid action RTS game. I played the demo the other day. It's not really intense. It's not like an XCOM game. It's kind of cozy. It feels a bit like Psychonauts, or like it feels like a PS2 game.
Ooh, mixing XCOM with Psychonauts feels like an interesting concept, at least on paper. I noticed that sometimes these like seemingly outrageous concepts of meshing two seemingly strange ideas together sometimes produce the most interesting results. Was that like kind of a part of your philosophy while working on Badgersaw?
A lot of indie games kind of take that philosophy, but with Badgersaw, I kind of wanted to make something which had its own identity. When like my main inspirations for the game probably don't actually like translate that well into the final project. Like I'd say that when I was making it, I was thinking about Monkey Island, Zork. If anyone knows Zork, it's an old text adventure game. Like pure text, and you type in what you want to do, and then it happens. And Sonic the Hedgehog. I said those were like the three biggest things I had in my mind when I was making this.
Well, folks, there's your recipe for a successful game. Take old text adventures and put Sonic the Hedgehog in them. Also, hey Golden. Golden is asking Vincent, what do you think of Terry Davis?
Yeah, Temple OS, my man. I watched a YouTube video on him. Actually,
Was that the
he's not unknown to me.
Was that the Count Dankula one?
No, it was like Down the Rabbit Hole, I think.
Oh yeah,
YouTube channel.
Fred and Knudsen, my boy.
And actually, I think about Terry Davis more than you would think. Actually,
he was certainly a character.
Funny question.
Yeah, because when you think about it, like that dude, regardless of how off the deep end he went, that was genuinely a talented programmer who basically developed a fucking OS from scratch, including the
it's so impressive.
boot program.
I'm all like less about game dev and more just a personal thing, but I'm very into having skills at the base level of like abstraction, I guess you might be able to say. Like I like to know things from the ground up rather than just the practical essence of a thing. And obviously, like with like building your own OS like that, I'm not anywhere near that level, so I have massive respect for what he did.
Anyway, we're coming up to one of the more interesting characters in Badgersaw. Like the actual first NPC you get to talk to in the game. And what a guy. Like already he stands out. Like how do you even come up with this? What goes on through your head when you decide, ah yes, I would like my video game to have a muscle man with no legs?
Yeah, I actually have almost no memory of how this guy managed to get into the game. I'm pretty sure I wrote him in while programming just because I needed an NPC, and I just started having all of these crazy ideas while I was writing down, and I just ran with the ideas.
that is crazy to me. Think of the possibility that you don't even remember how you came up
Like, I watched
with an
I
idea.
watched the talk with Stephen King once, and Stephen King was like, when he writes the story, he formulates the characters and the general like setting, and then he thinks about what would the characters do in this setting, and his books just follow the characters' actions without like a sturdy plot to structure the story. And I don't write like that, but this character definitely evolved in that way.
Okay, but have you considered the possibility that Stephen King smoked a lot of crack in his life?
No, I didn't consider that, although I should have.
Yeah, he is definitely one of those cases where a lot of his literally talent was inspired by, shall we say, external influences. Like, you've read it, I assume.
I actually haven't read a single Stephen King novel.
Oh, okay, that's that's
I know
that's not the turn I expected, because I was gonna mention like a very infamous scene out of it and just add on that that's not exactly the kind of beat you come up with sober, unless you're a very disturbed individual. But I'm sure anyone who's actually watched the movies or read the novel knows exactly what I'm talking about here.
Yeah, I do need to read more books, to be honest. It's like something that I want to get back into.
Yo, The Shining, love that. Easily like that's like a top one all-time movie, just alternating between The Thing, depending what my mood is during the day. It's so
Yeah, I've
hard to
seen
actually
those
sell
movies
on one.
and-
What would you say were like the greatest challenges to overcome while working on Badgersaw?
That's a good question, actually. When I first started making Badgersaw, I didn't know how to program, like, really. And as a result, a lot of the foundation of the game is spaghetti. And I know how I should have approached it now, because I became a better programmer in the process. And then, like, reverting back to the spaghetti and working within the framework of spaghetti that I've made is quite challenging. It requires like above and beyond creative like imagination than you would normally need to make a game like this.
Refresh my memory. What infrastructure is this built on?
It's built on Python.
Python. So, were you familiar at all with Python before working on this, or did you actually like have to begin from scratch, essentially?
Like I was familiar with. I was coming from a position where I could read somebody else's code and understand what it did, I guess.
Were there any specific reasons for you to choose Python instead of, like, say, the more popular Unity?
It's easy, really. And I actually have a kind of funny perspective on Unity, which I think that most people probably don't have, so I'll share it. And that's was like I kind of think kind of abstractly, and when you make a game on Python, it's purely code. There's no visual interface. And I've messed around with Unity a couple times, and the idea of like adding scripts to objects that exist messes with my head. I need more practice.
Really? So you
And so
prefer like
I've-
working with code instead of
yeah,
with
yeah.
an interactive menu?
Yeah. I get really confused when I use Unity.
Well, I guess that answers the next question I had, which would be like, what would be your recommendation for aspiring game devs, like say engine-wise?
I'm learning Godot at the moment. I'm trying to skill up. The reason why I picked Godot over Unity is very, very simple, and that's that starting the software is smoother. That's the only reason.
Smoother in what way?
But when you start Unity, it brings you up to like a kind of hub screen, like a launcher kind of thing, and you have to choose the version and you have to choose the folder. There's all of this like admin stuff that you have to go through, and I suppose it's not that bad, but I know nothing and I just want to learn. And every time I open it and go through this extra stuff, it annoyed me, so I just downloaded Godot, and it doesn't have that. It's not really a good reason, but that's why I use Godot.
I feel like with all the progress we made, engine-wise and coding, it's definitely an advancement over how the veterans used to start off with on their Apple IIs and just picking up a programmer's book and learning the code from scratch. Basically, they had to become like professionals themselves, be it through self-schooling, like what John Romero and John Carmack did, or if someone was like lucky enough to get into an actual course in college and stuff. But I guess if you like know the code, then you can do anything instead of relying just on the interface.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that simple. There's like definitely limitations, and there's also stuff that you wouldn't learn from a textbook, which is like practical. This is an example that I like to give when people ask about like what's it like to code a game, and I think this is a cool like a way of visualizing the kind of visualizing the way that like the process of it. When you make a game for controller and you want to port it onto PC, one of the problems that happens is when you press the W key to go forward, when you would move a joystick, the joystick's like range of motion is not just like up and down, it's actually like it's a circle. There's an entire like range, so when you push it just a little bit, you're going forward, and then when you push it the full way, you're going forward, and then when you let go, there's a delay for it to come back to the middle, and you're still moving forward during that delay. The physical delay, the input of the forward on the joystick. And when you port the game to PC, people actually like use Pi to code in a lag when you press W, because if you don't, it feels really janky because the character just stops straight away.
Oh, I see.
And that's like super unintuitive. Like you would never think to do that unless somebody told you, or unless you like struggled about why is it so janky? Why is it so janky for like hours?
How much
that's kind of the reality of making
actual
games.
feedback did you get during the demo that actually had to be amended before this game was like ready to roll out?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Because I imagine
lot of
there were
feedback.
bugs.
Yeah, there were loads of bugs, but actually the harder thing is not, because bugs are like when you do something and then like a giant, like the game crashes, and then you can do it like 1,000 times and the game crashes 1,000 times and you kind of work out what to do. Harder things are stuff that you can't see, like for example, infinitely looping dialogue that is like really hard to even just like get to in the game, or like balance issues that only become apparent after. There was one glitch where Jacqueline has an attack where he knocks Tantalum into the back row, and even though Tantalum, when he gets attacked by that, moves back into the middle row, like on the interface, he moves back into the middle row at the end of the battle. He actually stays in the back row in the code, and there's no way of realizing that that's happening unless you just play the game for a very long time and then you notice that the amount that the characters are being attacked is not equally distributed, like over like 100 turns or something like that. Bugs like that are really hard to find.
Oh yeah. Would you say that was like the most annoying glitch out of them all to track down, or was there like something else that really had you scratch your head before it got amended?
Yeah, actually, when you get further into the demo, you'll find that there's like a second, there's a second UI for the battle screen, I guess. We'll put it that way. And when I want to when I was making that and I was trying to program using the same structure, the same battle structure, but have different things happen, like for example, have enemies, it's kind of, I don't want to use too much technical language, but some enemies will have attacks that scroll through the party and like make a check on every party member, and then weird things happen, like their sprites just disappear after they
Oh, this is new.
get like chosen.
I don't remember being able to use the gas tank during combat.
It was there. It was there.
Alright, well, let's do it for shits and giggles then. I guess I missed it out because of the RNG-based combat.
Probably, yeah.
Now, you did mention that a lot of stuff already was like set aside, basically ready to be put in the game. How does that relate to music? How much of it already had composed? And how do you come up with ideas for musical beats?
Okay, yeah.
What inspires you?
So, that's a good question too. There were most of the song you're hearing now, the exploring theme, was already written. The main menu theme was already written in its entirety, and it had already been put through like our digital audio workstation, so that what you hear on the main menu was exactly the same 10 years ago. But the song you're hearing now, the MIDI file was not finished, but like 90% finished, and the kind of main theme of the game that plays during the boss battle, that just that little bit of like 4 bars of music was finished. Other than that, everything was made last year.
Damn, that's
and
crazy.
For your second question, it's about half an hour of music, I think, in the game. And the second question was, how do you come up with songs? So I've been playing guitar since I was like 15, something like that. So I kind of have a musical background already, and it's such a good question. I just walk around. I take walks and I just imagine like tunes, and then when I get a good one, I sit down on my PC and I build a song around it. I think that's probably how I do it.
That's gonna be such an abstract concept for a lot of people, especially me, who are not musically talented. And the most we like interact with songs are just playing classics that we love inside of our own heads. Because like the idea of just inventing a new song seems so foreign unless you're ingrained into music.
There are some people, like I approach it via imagination, but there are some people who just, for example, they pick a scale. Like you can go online and you can just listen to what every scale sounds like. They pick a scale and then they use a sequence, and you can do this. Like there are like rules and stuff. Like you can go like 1, 3, 2, 4. Like in terms of like, so that would be like A, C, B, D, and if you pick a nice sequence, it will sound good. That's how Bach wrote a lot of his music.
Oh, since you said you have like a musical background, does that mean you actually like learned music professionally, or are you self-taught?
In the UK, you can elect to pick music as a main subject when you hit, I think, 16, which I did.
Nice.
So in school.
I remember listening to podcasts featuring musicians a while back, and especially rock musicians back in the day, like Dave Mustaine. Those were all self-taught. Like they just picked up the guitar and learned as they go. And what's funny when those guys are interviewed, they say they have no idea how to read notes. Like they just come up with songs and they learn them by heart.
Yeah, the Beatles were.
So is like 100% of the soundtrack you're doing?
100%, yeah.
Nothing like pre-made. It's all on you.
Everything in the game is on me.
Now,
the trailers are also on me.
say that again.
The trailers for the game are also on me.
Ah, got it. Are you like still actively writing music?
I would like to write more music, just like on a hobby level. I would like to, but I don't really have time between drawing and gaming and making games. It's kind of hard to. I would like to, but I don't really do it.
Since, well, as we established, you already did like the gargantuan effort of working on this by yourself. What was your favorite aspect?
Programming was easily my favorite aspect. It sounds weird, but there's a positive feedback loop where you like find the problem and you fix the problem, you find the problem, you fix the problem, and it uses your creativity. It feels really good. And just to bounce off of that, my least favorite thing was actually drawing the art, which is funny because drawing is like a dream job for a lot of people, including me. But when you're faced with like maybe over 100 pictures that you need to draw in a short span of time, it really burns you out.
Oh yeah, especially when you think about drawing variants of portraits, which you basically have to take the same like general artwork and then make minute differences. That seems taxing. And we're not even talking about like full sprite sheets here.
Yeah, like, and I'd actually never drawn backgrounds before I drew this game, and you can kind of see as you get further into the game, the backgrounds get better because I improved.
I thought you were gonna say they get worse as you move on. You know what?
I wanted to go back and redraw them, but
listen. Here's an idea. Here's an idea for Chapter 2. The more you move on, the more basic the backgrounds become until they're like just black lines on the white background.
And that's definitely an idea.
I'll copyright that shit just so you know. Now, I don't know how much of your like private life you want to talk to, but you've been living in Japan for quite a bit now.
Yeah, like 4 years, I think.
So, how much would you say that iconic Japanese work ethic rubbed on you when it came to game dev work?
Yeah, like extremely so. Like I how I put this. So in my day job, as you know, but chat wouldn't know, I regularly work 13-hour shifts, right? And that cut down when I started Badgersaw because I went like 80-20 on my previous job and I was just mainly doing Badgersaw. But the like constitutional ability to work such long hours really like transferred to making Badgersaw. I basically worked 7 months straight with, I probably took about 12 days off in total over 7 months.
Now we're actually coming up to, do you want to call this a secret boss?
This is not a boss.
I mean, it kind of feels like it at first. But it is a very cool JoJo reference, I have to say. You have some talent for coming up with new stand designs, friend.
I haven't watched any JoJo past episode 2. I've only watched Jonathan and Joseph. I
mean, some people will say that basically you ended on peak, depending on who you talk to.
I started watching Jotaro and I didn't like it. I couldn't watch it.
Really? Like tapping out at part 3? That seems odd for a lot of people because
I just.
For most, I would say like part 4 is where they start slowly signing out because it, sure enough, gets more bizarre. A little too bizarre for their taste.
Everyone tells me to watch Gio, the Italian guy. What's his name? Giovanni or something. Everyone's telling me just skip to that, just skip to that.
We don't skip parts.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
That being said, you could probably skip part 8. I didn't like it very much.
Yes, thank you, Golden Cream. Giorno.
Yeah, Giorno Giovanna. I know my Italian. Also, he became the Pringle Man. Did you actually try to pitch this game to anyone before going like a solo dev
I did.
slash
I pitched
publisher?
it to about 10 publishers, like 10 indie publishers with good reputations. I pitched it to Fellow Traveler, Raw Fury. I don't remember all of those. Those two were like at the top of my list, so I pitched it to those two and 8 more. And yeah, I got some good responses, but no takers. I had like a call me back next year, or call me back with your next project. That was one that I got. That was probably the best one that I got.
Don't call us, we'll call you.
Oh yeah, yeah. I think that was Fellow Traveler. They said we love it, but we're too busy. I have a friend who he is in contact with the staff at Fellow Traveler, and he kind of tipped me off and said they're too busy right now, but send it to them. And then they came back with me and they said, yeah, we're too busy right now, but we love it. Send us your next game. But you know, my next game is probably going to be Badgersaw Part 2. So.
I mean, on the other hand, you're basically like the boss when it comes to making changes and distributing the game how you please. Because there are
I've heard a lot of sentiment about publishers being like, unless they have a backlog of published games which fits your game's genre, they might just do nothing and take your 30% of your profits. So, like, I did kind of have that in mind too.
Do you think this came out for the better with how it's coming up with you publishing it instead of a bigger player?
I'm kind of happy that I have no publisher, to be honest. I think that it's better this way, but it does give me like more anxiety to not have a publisher, because publishers give you lump sums of money and that gives you kind of stability and peace of mind.
Would you prefer long term if you like really got into game dev that you actually got picked up by a brand?
I would rather have found my own company, to be honest.
How realistic do you think that is?
I would need a big startup budget, and you know, like the game industry is obviously like very like famously unstable with like layoffs and stuff. And I was talking to some friends who are in the game industry and friends who want to be into game industry, and I was just thinking about like the amount of money I would need to hire them and the quality of work that I would need to make sure that I would continually be able to hire them like for like multiple years. And it is kind of terrifying to think about that.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt your train of thought, but I think in the demo we had only like 3 rations?
Yeah, you got 5 now.
Oh, sweet. So it got a little more merciful.
Well, the demo was shorter, so.
That's true. Oh, and now we get
there's these
actual
cool,
icon.
Cool
by the
icons.
way, guys, disregard these save slots. They are busted. As like a bonus to close off, I might show you one. I think this one, because it gets a little hilarious with how the game doesn't know how to act on the updated version. It just kind of trips out.
Yeah, for anyone who doesn't know, this is a fun fact about game dev, is load and save systems are like frustratingly difficult to implement, and yet every game has them. So if you've made a game and you've struggled with save and load, you know every single company, a AAA company or like an indie dev company has also struggled with save and loads. It's horrible.
But yeah, going back to what you said about starting your own company, if you were like say to make a few phone calls, how many people do you think you could roll in?
I have one friend who's in the game industry right now who kind of wants to work at an independent company. So I have him. And I know a couple other people who are quite young and they haven't got their career started yet. And I think that they would be down. So like, yeah, just a handful of people really. Yeah.
I remember you also mentioned that you were like in talks with a big Japanese player, like signing up to them. Was it
I think I think you mean I'm friends with a like chief financial officer at a kind of like big company, but he was saying if you learn Unity, it will give you a job. But I'm not really like my creative vision. I guess this kind of stuff I want to make doesn't really align with their company's products, so probably won't do it.
If you had to, how willing would you be to learn Unity?
Learning Unity is fine. It's just what kind of games do you want to make is the question.
Ah, I see. Do you think like their plans would align with yours?
No, they're kind of more about like high tech like experiences like VR and stuff like that. And it's less like a game and like sense of like a structure with rules and a story to support those rules, which I think a lot of games can kind of be described that way, and more just like intense like psychedelic experiences using VR.
Is there like any kind of video game, like let's say genre-wise, that you would never touch?
That is a good question. You're gonna have to give me a second to think about that.
You have all the time in the world, bud. I've also just learned that we need another flower if we want to make this concoction.
Bullet hell games are probably the only genre that I have zero interest in. Probably the only genre. And hidden object games, although people don't really think about them. Those two genres, I have nothing against them. And I have and do play games in the genres. I just have no interest in making them.
Do you think that would be like too difficult for you, or you just wouldn't have like fun working on it?
Yeah, I wouldn't have fun.
I guess kind of going off the topic, are there any video game developers you genuinely like look up to, and they're your icons when you think about your own career?
Yeah, that is a good question. I need to think about that too. 1 second.
Acidic and some wax. Alright, so we gotta try this again.
Yeah, individuals not really. It's kind of more like they're a series that I came into video games from like an artist perspective, so I have loads of artists that I look up to in terms of individuals, but game developers not really.
Are there any like names you want to specifically shout out?
Yeah,
Okay, we got the wax.
but it's the typical ones like Amano, Final Fantasy. And I forgot his name, but the Metal Gear artist.
Oh yeah, I'm forgetting it too. You'll have to look it up. Arrow counter. Not use key.
In Kawayoshi. Yeah, Shin Kawayoshi made that he was a concept artist. He was probably one of my favorite artists of all time.
This whole sequence is like a fever dream at first, but then the payoff is kind of not what you expect, which I will admit is a pretty neat twist.
My own dialogue makes me laugh sometimes. Like they engraved "Do not open this box" on the box.
Okay, since you mentioned that, is there any dialogue you genuinely regret writing in?
What was that? Sorry, I was reading the chat.
Is there like any dialogue that you actually look back on and thought to yourself, why did I put that in? That is cringe. That makes me wince.
I kind of edited all of that out. It's not really.
Was some of that in the demo, or did it not even make it past there?
No, it didn't make it past the demo really. There was a lot of dialogue I wrote when I was like 14 or something that was just like still there.
Anyway, you guys might remember this spider. It actually gave me quite a bit of trouble in the demo because it is a pretty tough cookie.
Yeah, the spider is like a very well reviewed boss, so pretty much all of the playtesters really enjoyed fighting it.
So for all like the ideas that didn't get into chapter 1, do you just like plan on revisiting them and adding them in as you go through the other ones?
Every chapter already kind of has a kind of solid plan, and I kind of consider everything I wanted to put in chapter 1 is kind of already there. I did mention that there was a boss that didn't go in, but the more I think about that boss, the less I feel like he has a space in the game, so he's probably not going back in.
So all in all, like you already have a draft for the entire game, basically.
Yeah, a rough draft. It's not like I couldn't submit that draft to someone and say make this. It's too rough. But yeah, it's kind of basically planned out.
Are you planning to like jump into chapter 2 straight away, or are you just gonna take a break to recharge your batteries?
I'm gonna look at the sales numbers, and if they doesn't sell very well, I'm gonna apply for jobs. Basically, I'm gonna just try and get into the game industry.
Well, shit, guys. There's your cue to buy Badgersaw en masse.
Yeah, if it sells well enough that I can like financially justify myself to make chapter 2, I'm just gonna quit my job and make chapter 2. Guys, I have a Patreon.
Please support. What do you post on your Patreon?
I only have 2 subscribers and they're both my friends, so I don't post anything.
Damn, imagine getting paid for nothing.
The tiers are, one of them gives you early access to the game, like stable builds or playtest builds. The second tier gives you access to a sketchbook, like my in progress art, and the third tier gets your name in the credits of the game.
I find this very optimally. Kind of remember struggling a little bit with the spider.
Yeah, it's a hard boss.
I feel like you kind of have to focus down on the big one. Keep it confused as much as possible so you can then pick off the little guys. Game malice. Yeah, let's do that.
The battle just got quite intense.
Oh yeah. It definitely takes some time to make those baby spiders look cute.
Yeah.
Look at them, they're all fuzzy. They just want to play. I just remember that Mr. L gives like a rock form ability later on, which adds defense. That probably would have helped a little bit. We'll try our best. I'm not getting very good at RNG with those bouncy arrows right now. Oh yeah, that actually brings up a good point. If Badgersaw picks up popularity, you can totally make the baby spider a plushie available for
That'd be
sale?
super cool. And Fly Night, the game Fly Night, that's an indie game that I really enjoyed. Is getting fly plushies, so maybe I can get some spider plushies to go along with
Yo,
it.
let's go. Marketable plushies are the future. Yeah, there we go.
There
all
is a
those squids
single
in.
acrylic stand of Badgersaw in existence.
Fan made or you're doing?
My wife made it for me.
Well, she is your greatest fan after all.
Yeah, man. Me and a friend were playing Fly Night last night. It's great.
Would that be like your current game recommendation?
I mean, it's good, you know.
Oh,
it's
fuck.
kind of crusty, but
No,
it's really good.
Tantalum,
Tantalum
please.
guides.
He always goes on first. Man, you weren't kidding. He released the Guybrush. Since that not a lot of people like him.
He can hold his breath for over 10 minutes.
Wow, what a talent. We have one whole body of water in the entire game so far that we can't even, like, interact with. Well, that's the spider boss, everyone. We might try and attempt him. Wait, I'm saving. That was weird.
I love this scene.
Is there one particular music track you really like how it came out?
Yeah, the boss theme. I think the boss theme I spent the most time on.
Any like musical movements that really drived you in making the soundtrack, or maybe artists, individuals?
That's a good question. Yeah.
Because when I'm listening to some of these tracks, I can't help but feel like maybe even unintentionally, but you took some notes from noise music or shoegaze bands, with how like dreamy and discordant these beats go.
There was definitely a shoegaze. I'm not a big shoegaze fan, but there was definitely an influence, I think, of shoegaze in the soundtrack. When you said that, it kind of clicked in my mind. Yeah, that's a good point, actually. I had an anti-influence. I didn't want the soundtrack to sound JRPG.
Okay, so
I
nothing like
kind of-
traditional
yeah.
orchestric Final Fantasy.
Yeah,
Whatever.
or like electric guitars, you know, things like this. Although there are electric guitars in it because I play electric guitar, but you know what I mean, like not like Guilty Gear or Blaze Blue or something like that.
You know what? That actually brings me to a very good point here. What
Yeah.
kind of other games would you say have amazing soundtracks, from your perspective as someone who knows music?
Planescape Torment. I love.
Oh, my man, Mark Morgan, let's go!
Yeah. Legacy of Kain.
The original?
Like all of them.
I can definitely agree with
I'm-
the original playing it not long ago.
It's a good question. I was talking to someone. I haven't played Ultra Kill yet, but I've been listening to the soundtrack, believing it was just a soundtrack. I thought it was just a standalone album, and I was just listening to it. I had no idea that there was a game called Ultra Kill.
Actually, a lot of New Blood games have amazing soundtracks. Partially because many of them had Andrew Holsholt recruited to compose the OSTs. And he's very good at making those heavy metal sounding beats. Anyway, here's another JoJo reference to piss off Vincent, even though he claims he doesn't watch a lot of JoJo.
You know, I intentionally am avoiding Berserk to not be influenced by it.
Really?
Yeah, because so many people say they're influenced by Berserk. So until like I'm done making Badgersaw, I think I'm not gonna. I think I'm just gonna stay away from it.
I don't want to alarm you, but you're missing out on peak, my friend.
I know, I know.
Like, you gotta get on that shit as soon as you're done. Which will be in the next 3 years or so.
Yeah, man. Yeah, basically.
Okay, this fight is one of those where it, what's the phrase? It's kind of escaping my, subverts expectations. Because you expect, like, an actual encounter, but they kind of just dick around, these guys.
If you do manage to lose to them, the game overs that you get are some of my favorite.
Really, you can, like, actively, have them beat your ass.
You can lose this fight, it's just very hard to lose.
How many hours will I have to spend?
Yeah, it will take a long time.
Guys, do we want to do it? Is it worth it?
Your best bet is to fight the spider, win, and then immediately do this and be very unlucky.
Oh shit. That means we have to do the spider again, probably. Don't. You know what? Maybe we'll do it as a bonus incentive.
In the current version, there isn't this feature, but eventually I want to add like a game over, like unlock feature where you can go in the gallery and you can like, I don't know, maybe like if you beat an enemy once, then you unlock all of the game overs, the potential game overs that enemy can give you, something like that.
Oh, that's actually a great idea. Like have different game over variants that you can look up, unlock as achievos.
My plan is that when Chapter 2 is released, I'll release a free update for Chapter 1, which adds like a gallery.
So that lowers the water in the lake room where we were earlier. Not immediately noticeable. Like a certain streamer who took completely blinded to the fact not to get too heavy into spoiler territory, but are you planning alternate endings?
Yes.
Is there going to be a lot of them? Do you think?
Not really, and they're not going to be endings which are generally based on choices you make. The final chapter is just going to have some extra different ways to complete it, basically.
Gotcha. So you're not gonna go David Cage and make like 40 different ending sequences depending on whether you sneeze in a specific time of day in this building in the presence of two other NPCs.
I'm going to put some whack stuff in the game. I'm going to put some weird stuff in the game in Chapter 5 if I make it that far. In terms of endings, my plan is to have one ending which requires you to play the entire game in a certain way to get it, and the rest of the endings will be just like contained in Chapter 5. And then there'll be some like post-game shenanigans that I want to add as well, hopefully.
You mean like a New Game Plus kind of deal, or just extra content past the main game?
Both.
Oh.
I'm not sure how feasible adding a New Game Plus will be with the spaghetti codes, but post-game content is definitely...
I mean, New Game Plus in this kind of environment seems like just doing a challenge mode where you don't really use rations if you can help it. Unless you like tweak the spawn rate of enemies.
It might be something like you come back with all of the unlocked skills. The simplest way to do it would be to unlock all the skills at the beginning and make the encounters more difficult. That'd be the simplest way.
Yeah.
But you could do something else as well, like make it an alternate history, or make it far in the future, or something like that.
At that point, it kind of feels like you're making a new game entirely.
Yeah. It depends on how you approach it.
I mean, being recently on an SMT5 binge, the way they go about New Game Plus is pretty interesting, because you can start with pretty much everything unlocked, like maxed level out party, Demon Compendium entries, all the fusions, item stuff, or you could just go, let's make a fresh. run. So I guess we could do some variables in that sense, if you really wanted to.
Yeah, if I do make New Game Plus, I do kind of want to put. I have some ideas, but I don't want to reveal them on stream in case I use them.
Oh, understandable.
But I would definitely do something weird with it. I won't just make it the same game. I'll probably change the dialogue or something.
So which one of these three
Like-
Chuckle Fucks would you say is your personal favorite?
Badgersaw. Like, the three characters are based on me and my friends, and Badgersaw is based on me, so I guess he's the most relatable for me.
So we must go in this cave. Oh. Oh shit. That wasn't there before. Guys, it's the Hydra from Dark Souls. Kinda.
It's funny you say that because I like designed this before Dark Souls came out.
You could sue Miyazaki if you really wanted to. It's not quite as panicular as the SMT5 equivalent, but I do like the flower ornaments on their heads. Is that like a little nudge to the flowers present in the cave?
It was actually the other way around. I designed the lake monster.
Oh shit!
First and then designed
Different
the
perspective.
cave around the lake monster.
Oh, that's cool. Yo, we get to look at the artwork from a different angle. It's not as cursed as you'd think it'd be. Also digging the different variation of the comet theme. I know,
If
right?
I was working at an AAA company and they were like, I want to draw the battle screen twice, I think that they would fire me.
Oh shoot, we might actually have to lock into this guy. It's essentially very similar to the spider fight where I have to focus on multiple enemies.
Yeah, he's kind of the gatekeeper fight. If you can't beat him, you probably can't beat the game. If you beat him, you can probably beat the game.
I mean, we cut off one head already. Admittedly, had probably less HP than what we're putting up here right now.
Easier if you fight the lake monster, which you did. Otherwise, you have to fight him with 5 heads.
Oh wow, you can go about this the other way then. That's a neat
Yeah, and he's
feature.
kind of balanced around there being 5 heads, so he's kind of easier.
So I made him angry, basically. He. That sucks about trying to give Tantalum his HP back is that he's already a popular target for enemies. Oh, that's... That was actually not that weak to physical attacks. Interestingly. Like, I'm not tripping. These heads do have different properties, right?
Yeah, they do. Yeah, you figured it out.
Alright.
Oh, this game over is good. Read it. Read it.
Oh, shit.
Read it. Read it. Read it. Mouse wheel up. Mouse wheel up. You can read it.
Let's go. So, Tandem has been defeated. As Badgersaw and Mistral wear the beast down with their attacks, Tandem struggles to do any real damage. Yeah, you think? Its skin is so thick. Can't seem to pierce it with my arrows. There must be some other way I can help. Come on, Tent. Think! Think! Bloop. Tantalum was crushed under the weight of the falling beast. What? Tantalum! Tantalum! Why didn't he move out of the way? The first second, like he was zoned out. What? Yeah, I know. Seven rings, there's no one else to blame, is there? Unfortunately not. Damn the stupid adventure. There's no need to feel guilty. It's right, Mr. L, I know. Then let's continue. Yeah. The two continue without Tantalum. You should have doubled down and make this a real thing. You could just continue without him.
He kind of like goes against the spirit of the game.
I know, but it's a missed opportunity to include Christoph as your no permanent party member. The gimmick being that Badgersaw has to carry him around because he has no legs.
Maybe he'll just walk in his hands.
Yeah, we could tame the Hydra. I mean, we had to appease it first because it's kind of angry at us for losing one whole head. Alright, let's explore. Now, I vaguely recall that Mr. L gets an ability in that room with Christoph. Again, it's been 3 months
Also,
since I last touched this, so...
Badgersaw should have a fourth ability unlocked if you open the status screen.
Thank you for reminding me about the inventory system, because in my head, I'm still playing the demo. Like it's kind of hard getting adjusted.
We've been talking through all of the dialogue, so...
That is true. I take it for granted, having played a fair bit of this chapter. And focusing more about just talking with my friend here and getting to learn about the intricacies of this here video game. It's useful. Why did that corner creature give it to us? Do not use. That's for the spider boss. Lump of wax. I don't even remember what this is, to be honest. This bottle with the fluid.
It's a flask of mysterious liquid.
All right. Oh right, we haven't done yet.
When you beat the enzymes.
Yeah, we don't have advancing strike yet. So,
and you remember correctly, in Christoph's room, Mr. L gets a new ability.
in case you guys are wondering, all this talk about the regenerating gas tank, that's if you actually waste it in combat, so you can pick it up again. Because if you use it for its intended purpose, I don't think that comes into play again.
I think it refreshes, but you can't pick it back up.
Walls. Oh, yeah. That's what it leads up to. Don't be harsh on the Badgersaw. The man doesn't know about a good moisturizer. That's why his skin is so dry. They don't know about L'Oreal in this here universe. Oh yeah, we did talk about Planescape Torment earlier, so that is easily one of my favorite RPGs of all time. Just because of the setting, the narrative. Did some of that rub off on Badgersaw?
I actually played Planescape Torment for the first time a couple years ago, and by that time, Badgersaw's like main idea was kind of solidified. Planescape Torment kind of draws from a lot of things I was already familiar with in the D&D setting and just in like philosophy in general before I played it. So I really liked it, but if there was any inspiration, it probably already hit me before I played the game.
Yeah, it feels like you already had this well thought out in your head before anything took precedence in potentially giving you more foundations. With so many potentially like scrapped or spare ideas, are you like putting them aside in case you want to use them in the future? Like not even for Badgersaw, but maybe for another game if you feel like getting deep
I
into
have
it.
a bunch of other prototypes in the pipeline actually. Badgersaw is like the biggest priority, but I have 2 other games. Well, technically 3. One of them's on itch.io, and it's free. People want to try it out. And I have 2 other games which are kind of in the prototype stage, which are using ideas which have been kind of recycled from Badgersaw and kind of improved.
Right, so we need protective gear to move past this bit, which normally would be the end of the demo, actually. So we didn't have to worry about that. Also, what's up, Frosty? If you feel like asking Xetoil / Vincent here any questions regarding the game, do feel free. This is a very interactive Q&A session, so you don't always get the chance to ask the developer about the inner workings of their mind, so make the most of it. I feel like I'm missing something in this room that will potentially help me with advancing. It's probably not the box itself. Well, I suppose I'll have to do the Hydra, because while the spider seems optional, that is most definitely not. Well, we have rock skin. I'm wondering. Just so you know, we're not playing optimally this game. So I actually might expand these guys' skill list before I attempt to fight the tougher enemies. Is this like your actual first Q&A session? Or did you get to do this before with someone else?
I've got another one in the pipeline, but this is my first one.
Well, I'm glad that in spite of your busy schedule, you made it here, man.
It's good to be here, man.
We'll have to do this ending. I'm not sure how, but we'll figure it out, guys. For the meme, if anything else. Alright. Strail needs to chill a bit. Which is to be the best fight for it. Just to get him to...
Yeah, that's kind of the idea of this fight.
If you actually like let them roam free, they do eventually attack you. Was how much thought did you actually put into the dialogue? How much was it pure? How much thought did you put into the dialogue? How much was it like pure impro, depending what just came to your mind? And
almost 100% pure impro.
Really? So you just
yeah,
wrote down whatever and then turned it into actual dialogue in game?
I just kind of know, while I had the text editor open, like the programming software open, I just thought like, what would they say? And then typed that.
Did experience from playing D&D help in any capacity with your creative outlet?
I think that this game was heavily inspired by, heavily inspired by the concept of D&D, not actually by any game that I played or like session that I had.
Like just a general idea of a bunch of dudes going to a dungeon and having an adventure?
Yeah, pretty much that. And one thing that I really like about old school D&D is the fact that dungeons kind of had ecosystems, and I kind of took that forward when I was making this.
Oh, might actually lose this. If I let go of Badgersaw, guys, this could be it. I slept myself. That would make it easier. You know what? Fuck it. We ballin'. I'm just gonna have to pray the Tantalum doesn't kill you prematurely. I could slap Tantalum to death. Can I stall this long enough? We might be here for a while, guys. At the rate this is going, I might just genuinely slap Tantalum to death. Please tell me that's a thing that can happen.
In the early builds, it definitely happened. I don't remember if I fixed it or not.
Well, one way to find out.
In the early builds, Slap actually scaled the Badgersaw's Malice, and at 20 Malice, he could like knock a character out with one slap, and it was hilarious, but also game breaking.
There was like a skip turn feature. Oh shit. Oh well.
Wow, you survived. That's how hard it is to lose
I know.
that fight.
It's actually difficult to lose this fight, as opposed to winning it. In that case, we're gonna get a little frisky here. Spend another ration. Woo! Which one of these bosses would you say is your favorite? The spider? Or someone else?
Probably Jacqueline. I really like Jacqueline. And like, probably if you looked at the code, you could see how much love Jacqueline got compared to the rest of the bosses. His behavior is like very complicated compared to everything else in the game.
Is there actually an easy way for me to look into the code? Just boot up
Yeah,
Python
actually,
and
if you download the game on Steam, it's not like that. You can go in there and just look at it all. Like it's just there.
you should add some Easter eggs into the code
Yeah, I guess so.
to reward those who are really looking.
I'm pretty sure there is some silly stuff that I left in there by accident.
I think nothing will beat that story about someone leaving like one uncompressed picture in TF2's code, which apparently if you remove that line, it botches the game completely. It's inoperable, and no one can figure out why it is so. It just works that way.
That's hilarious. But sometimes people put like kill switches like that in their code, like they have some sort of like benign thing that if you get rid of, it like breaks the software, and the reason that they do that is because they don't want people editing it or modding it and stuff like that. That kind of is not unheard of.
The babies, they came back. I may have actually forgotten to
I'll
put
just be right back while you
Advancing
find this.
Strike.
Be like 2 minutes.
Yeah, no worries, man. I think we got the optimal setup going on, guys, right now for this fight. I can remember we actually did have to abuse Rocky's kid just to keep our archer alive here because, like I said, unintentionally or not, but he gets targeted by the brunt of the attacks. So it's not really worth taking down the spiders because if I remember right, they do come back quite quickly. Like within one turn or two. So Tentacle got really lucky there with his RNG. The 70 damage, that's... Whew. Quite a big shot there, fella. Let's see. Would that take down Rocky Skin? I don't think so. So we could technically... have it set up still on Tantal while Mr. L is recharging his mana. Yeah, this combat system is very unique in the sense that there's a lot of strange, sometimes interactions going on between these three dudes. But it does make it stand out compared to other games that I've played in my life. It's definitely not your typical RPG experience. That's why you like confusion, because that can happen. I would say I feel sorry for these small spiders, but, well, it's either them or me. No in between. Yeah, what's up, Telef? Nice to see you around. But yeah, if you guys would like to ask Vincent, especially when he comes back for a small break, any questions regarding the game, or just something directly at him, feel free to write those down in the chat. This is not even the demo, because I played that 3 months ago. We are looking at the finished game, which is gonna come out on March 10th.
Yeah, this is the retail edition.
Oh, there you are. Right on cue. You did mention on Discord that apparently this is getting quite the positive feedback so far.
Yeah, like YouTubers, I've been doing some YouTube outreach, and a lot of them are really enthusiastic to make videos. So you might see some videos dropping around the release date, hopefully. Nothing's been promised, but you know, the response has been really good.
Were you anxious when it was finally time to roll up the curtain?
I'm still anxious, man.
Just noticed that Badgersaw here is not doing too hot health-wise. The poison is not doing as many favors. Mana-wise. Malice. Same thing, really. Might have to take a different approach. We do have a good idea. However, Spastic has a lot of HP. That's a good icon there.
Oh yeah, the enzymes, yeah.
Was there anything in particular when you were working on Badgersaw that you were unsure about, like how it would be received? especially from the
You know,
players.
like it doesn't look like anything else, and that made marketing it really hard. Like for example, like Fail the Deck is made in RPG Maker, and so when you say that, oh, it's an RPG Maker game, people already have an idea. But Badgersaw kind of doesn't look like anything. So I had a lot of the first feedback that I got was, "How do you play it? I don't understand how you play it." And I was like, "Oh, it's like an RPG," you know. That was really hard.
Did that like influence the way you wrote the tutorial to try and explain this as best as you could?
One of the first pieces of feedback I got during the playtest stage was I can't work out how the MP works, which is where the tutorial came from.
In terms of this kind of philosophy, are you more of a I should provide the player with the most information possible, or would you lean more into it's actually more fun if they get to figure this out on their own and leave them a little bit in the dark?
That's a good question because the games that I enjoy tend to have all of the information laid out for you so that you can make like optimal decisions. But I wasn't going out of my way to make that kind of game. I wanted to make a game which was a bit more mysterious and hard to grasp, and so I chose not to give information.
I know it's easy an example to bring about, but well, it's like the most obvious one these days, Dark Souls, where a lot of lore and explanations come from you just reading, say, item descriptions, talking to NPCs, learning from like the environment. So would you say that's something you would be leaning into dabbling in, especially for the future chapters?
Yeah, definitely. That is kind of the. It's funny you use Dark Souls. I actually looked at Resident Evil, the first one, as kind of a big inspiration for how to tell the story. But when you think about it, they're actually quite similar. Resident Evil and Dark Souls in that regard.
Resident Evil 1 is definitely a wild example, especially when you consider the acting in that game. Because I'm not sure if the story is necessarily like one of the key factors people bring about.
It's more like the remake of the first one, not the actual remake. There's two things that I think stick out in that game to people, and that's the itchy tasty journal that you find, and the second one is the woman, the chained up woman in the basement, who is just like a weird enemy that is never really replicated in any other enemy, and has like a backstory that you can read about, but you can play the game ignoring it, and yet there's this recurring character that just is like there. What was her name? Lisa or something? Let's look it up.
Possibly, I don't remember much about Resident Evil off the top of my head. I played 4 pretty much.
Yeah, Lisa Trevor, I think, is like probably the second most memorable thing in that game.
Well, here's the thing, Tav. I actually beat this guy in the demo. It took a fair bit, but it is possible.
Yeah, he's kind of like he's an optional boss, and he's kind of there to see if the player has grasped the mechanics.
In my eyes, that's like one of the best ways to really test the player's not only reading comprehension, but ability to think on the fly. Because I know I'm bringing this up a lot tonight, but SMT games, even 5 of which I've recently been binging on, does that, especially in the main late game, where all the endgame bosses and the super bosses in particular, they have quite different behavioral patterns. So you can't really rely on the same strats when facing them. You actually have to mix your game up and potentially your character build if you want to proceed.
Yeah, I think as a like designer, it's like one of the things that I took a lot of inspiration from is in Metal Gear Solid 2. As people might know, there's two like main story segments. There's the tanker and the plant, right? And the tanker was envisioned as a tech demo to show how the company was proficient at using the technology of the PlayStation 2, in kind of a way which allows them to kind of use the technology that wasn't there previously to make something which is like unique to that console. And then in the plant, they went on to like barely use that capability at all, and that was like a conscious choice. But what the tanker level does is it shows the developers, it shows the potential of the game, and it shows the developers' skill in using that potential. And I think that the plant chapter is good as it is, but it was kind of would have kind of been a waste not to include the tanker, because it showed you the kind of potential, you know. And I kind of thought about that while I was making this boss.
A lot of the times, Hideo Kojima is thought of as a visionary when it comes to video game development, and in my eyes, rightfully so, because he genuinely has a lot of like clever ideas to go about designing the flow of his games. And I mean, Metal Gear Solid 2, I feel genuinely predicted a lot of things that go on in the world. Is there someone like that that you actually kind of look up to in terms of their input in the video game industry?
John Romero, like Doom, has to be one of them off the top of my head. His like continual reinventing of the wheel against challenges. Like there's a video you can watch on YouTube about the creation of Doom 2 and how they wanted to make staircases in that game, and it was like ridiculously hard and impossible with the foundation of Doom 1. So they remade the game in the most unintuitive way possible to add staircases, and it's like an amazing video. If anyone's interested in programming, I would definitely watch that video.
I did read his autobiography a while back. Doom guy, life in first person. Highly recommend it if you haven't gone through it yet. It's like a very good look into not only his life but also the industry, especially back when he started out. It's like insane just how much stuff they used to wing back in the day. Like, we don't like to think about the industry as like this monolith, highly structured, industrialized almost even, but back in the day it was just like a bunch of dudes chilling out in one room, gorging on pizza, soda, and binging coding for 20 hours straight.
That is the dream, man.
You could revive it, man. You just need like 3-4 other guys and rent out a small apartment.
It's hard finding people who are as intense as I am, I guess, in terms of like they will buckle down and they will just like make something.
Is that your way of saying people were built different back in the day?
No, not really. I think that also there's like I'm living in Japan, right? And in Japan, wages are generally kind of low, and that gives you a kind of like, you feel a lot of pressure to do something which will immediately bring you money now, like working in a job, you know, like a part-time job or something like that, rather than sitting in a room making something which might give you money in the future, you know.
There he goes. Wouldn't it be funny if we lost to these baby spiders?
It's possible, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Are you... How many fights like these are there in the game? Where you just actually have to go out of your way to lose?
It's just those two, I think. The rest of the fights are pretty, like, deadly.
Are there currently achievements for Badgersaw?
No, there's no achievements. I want to put them in, but you need to like do a bunch of stuff using like Steam API and stuff, and then you need to like load that into your engine, and you need to just like change some things, and it was just an extra layer of work that I didn't have time to do. So eventually, yeah, but not at the moment.
Well, there's definitely gonna be 2 for these fights respectively, like losing them to the minions, the actual
I don't want to
pushovers.
put achievements like that in the game. It's like really like you know, there's the one in Darkest Dungeon where you have to have one of your characters killed by another one who's a vampire who like rolls a random hunger roll and attacks the other one. It's like the lowest percentage like achieved achievement, and people who are trying 100% Darkest Dungeon, they absolutely hate going for that one because it's such a low chance of happening.
Bro, you're talking to a Binding of Isaac player. I know all about those obscure achievements that are super hard and specific to get. Especially if you play like those characters, say The Lost, who are a genuinely pain. You fuck
or
up
like
once
Crypt
and
of the
you...
Necrodancer.
Speaking of, what would you say it
composer's
was...
the same, isn't
Oh,
it?
sorry, didn't want to interrupt you.
Oh, go on, ask us.
No, I was just gonna ask, like, what's genuinely like the most difficult game you've played that you had a lot of fun going through?
I played XCOM. I played the first XCOM. That's not the first one. Enemy Within. I played that blind on Iron Man, classic Iron Man difficulty. It took me about 50 resets over 2 years to beat it.
I believe it. Iron Man will, he will literally turn you into Iron Man.
Yeah, it was playing it blind that really, like, if I had played it once and knew what was going to happen, it would have been a lot easier. Because it was blind, it was like really challenging.
Yeah, you raise a fair point, Golden, and some of those I don't think you can actually acquire anymore because they were specific to holiday events and stuff. I mean, maybe they're still accessible under some rare circumstances, but if you haven't been around, then you're potentially missing out on 100%ing the game. Possibly small painting of a pink-skinned and blue-haired woman. She looks off in the distance inquisitively as if concerned with something far out of view. Did you rewrite this part? Because I don't remember this being.
This wasn't there before.
Oh, okay. I might have to, look back then. In that case, we're gonna just, read from the beginning. The key slides and smoothly turns the clicks. Yes! Let's take a look inside and see what we've won. Okay, let's see what's inside for real this time. I am already fed up and tired with this box. Yeah, well, we're here now. We may as well see what's inside. What if it's another box? Please don't do this to me. Sorry. Badgersaw carefully eyes into the metal strongbox, then lurches over and takes a good look at the inside. There's nothing in here. What a waste of time. Maybe the box was supposed to contain the spider. And maybe the thing the spider was the reward in of itself. Wow. How lame. Mr. Elmo's Badgersaw to the side dips his head down towards the box. He pulls up the sleeve of his coat and reaches far down. Wow. Gross. You're going to get spider gunk all over your hand. After a few seconds, he rises back up with some sort of chain wrapped up around his fingers. Huh? Looks like there was something in there after all. It's some sort of locket. The three all huddle together whilst Mr. L unclips the front display. Inside is an impossibly small painting of a pink-skinned and blue-haired woman. She looks off into the distance inquisitively, as if concerned with something far out of view. Whoa. Exquisite. Who is she? She's very beautiful. No idea. I guess weird feeling, look at it. Yeah, it's like the painting itself radiates some sort of power. I think that's just all. It's a very masterful work. Whoever painted this must be a real savant. Yeah, whatever. I say we keep it. You're giving mixed signals here. Fair point. That being a Soros game, you could definitely pull off some stunts like with TF2 Chivos. Oh man. I want to go about Team Fortress 2 a little more, but I think I'll say that for another stream because I watched a very long video about the history of that game's downfall, and just make me sad thinking about it. So another time of this. I don't know. I don't think whoever owns it is coming back for it. Plus, it gives us this cool vibe. Can't really explain it. I know what you mean. So we're keeping it? Sure. Obtain equipment. Dark Locket. Let's have a... Oh, that's curious. It's not in the item list. Is that intentional?
It says toggle equipment / key items.
Oh, there you go. Stranger Cold to the Touch. Restores 5 HP per turn. Is that a passive?
You have to like equip it to a character.
I might be dumb, but how do we do that?
I just click on it.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
then click on one of
okay.
the slots. Yeah.
Ah. Yeah. You know, I feel like this is for the best, considering you like to attract attention, Tantalum. Anyway, that is a very good item indeed, especially since you don't really get health restoration items per se. Oh, that's wishful thinking, Frosty. Maybe if I did another Man vs. Machine session, but the casual play, especially with how busted that stuff is. Oof. I tried it like once after my adventure with Overwatch, and oh man. After getting bored with Overwatch, playing another game trying to mimic it so badly. Nah, man, I couldn't do that. Actually, we should try and talk to our companions to see if they actually have anything new to say. Sometimes you get different dialogue options depending on how you progress the story. I feel like we did all of this. I'm a fan of this. You know it wasn't necessary, but I can appreciate this being here.
I apologize to the guy that Tantalum was based on about this line, and he was like, "What are you talking about? That was the best line in the game."
He is literally me. Yeah, but how alive are the TFT servers? Because the change from a quick play to casual definitely took a lot of old school servers down. I mean, I haven't personally logged in quite a few years now, so for all I know, there could be a revival movement, which technically there is, because they're doing like TF2 Classic, which is trying to preserve the game in its original form. How they're gonna go about it all the way through, that is a mystery to me. But I would be willing to check it out, honestly. If the Samco managed to reverse some of the questionable decisions Valve made. You got any like favorite picks when it comes to online games?
I am playing a lot of Marvel Rivals nowadays.
Yeah, every time we try to get Vincent here to play Fortnite with us, he's like, "Nah, I'm a Marvel boy instead. He's got to be different."
I'm a really big Marvel Comics fan anyway, and so being able to swing around as Venom is like amazing.
You are the demographic.
Yeah, literally. I also play Guild Wars 2. It's an MMORPG.
Private servers?
No, it's like a live. It's live now.
What's like a video game you would say that was really there with you and formed who you are?
Soul Reaver. Legacy of Kain, Soul Reaver.
That's a very strong pick. Like with me, definitely I would say Planescape Torment, the original Baldur's Gate titles. I could replay those whenever you'd ask me from start to finish and still enjoy them. Oh, speaking of Soul
Guys,
Reaver,
at the moment,
speaking of Soul Reaver,
there is
did
a
you?
Legacy of Kain. Go on.
No, I was gonna just ask, did you peep the remaster for Soul Reaver?
I haven't bought it yet, but it's on my list. I held off buying it until they announced that the old graphics were like you could swap between the graphic styles because I didn't like the new graphics. Now that I know, I'm gonna buy it. But what I was gonna say is, if anybody doesn't know, and I'm not sponsored or anything about this, but there is a Kickstarter right now, which ends tomorrow, I think, or ends today. There's like a Legacy of Kain, like collector's encyclopedia and tabletop RPG, which is like endorsed by Crystal Dynamics, which is on which it's not on Kickstarter, it's on one of those other like backer kit or something platforms right now, and I'm backing it, which is why I haven't bought Soul Reaver. If anybody's a Legacy of Kain fan, I would check that out. It looks super cool.
He is definitely sponsored by Crystal Dynamics.
They got Michael Bell and I forgot Kane's voice actor's name to voice the trailer for it.
I mean, that's as strong selling point as you'll get. I feel like I'm reading through dialogue before fighting Mara all over again.
I've never played Deadlock, sorry, Golden Queen. I don't even really know anything about it. I had to Google it.
It's like the next big thing Valve is currently working on. Which I know, crazy that they still develop video games.
They should just make Team Fortress 2.
Team Fortress 2 2. I feel like we had a good strategy going on with Giant Spider, so let's see how well that converts to the Hydra. Also in general, do you have like other game recommendations you could throw to the folks at home?
Yeah, give me a second, I'll just think about it. Yeah, so I'm just literally looking at my desktop right now and just seeing what I'm playing right now. Tactical Breach Wizards is a kind of like it's a tactical kind of XCOM-like game, and it's been described as XCOM for people who don't like XCOM. It's like a cozy version of XCOM. I don't know how to describe it. It's tactically deep but really chill to play. If anybody wants to play XCOM but doesn't want to smash their head against their keyboards, Tactical Breach Wizards is really good. Second recommendation, I'm playing, if anybody knows Nippon Ichi Software, it's the first game by them that I've played, but I'm playing Labyrinth of Refrain at the moment, and it's like a old school dungeon crawler, and it's super crunchy. It's like the mechanics are super like numbers, and it's the vibe is really cool and weird and unique. And if you think Badgersaw is kind of cool, if that's up your alley, I would recommend that game to Labyrinth of Refrain.
I feel like in many ways our tastes in video games align, because you seem also to be fond of Bullfrog classics. We did
What, like,
have a little chat about
Dungeon
Dungeon Keeper, yeah.
yeah.
Did you dabble
Yeah,
in
when I was a kid-
Syndicate?
I haven't played Syndicate, no.
That's a strong
Uh,
recommendation for me. It gets super tough, especially in the expansions. But if you like that kind of real-time action kind of vibe with party management, then you'll love it.
It's actually my first time to hear about Syndicate.
Oh, that's like real
It
old
looks
school.
really cool. I'm kind of surprised it's like, this is Bullfrog, right? It's
Yep,
cool.
Bullfrog. Syndicate, the way it is now, is a little tough to get into because of the data controls, but fortunately Syndicate Wars, which in my opinion, being a sequel, is also a good mechanical improvement, it's a great time still.
That's cool. I was playing XCOM Apocalypse recently, so actually I'm not too far away from playing this sort of thing.
Nice. I think I spent the most time playing Apocalypse of the XCOM titles. I don't know what about it, but that one felt like especially sinister when it came to the atmosphere.
Yeah, it's a cool vibe. I haven't played that much of it, unfortunately, but I was playing it recently.
One of my like real favorite things about it is that there's generally one organization that is hostile no matter what you do, which is a bunch of cultists believing that the aliens came here to save us, and lo and behold, they're the first ones to get taken over by the aliens.
Well, I guess they kind of accepted the aliens when they came.
Now, I don't want to get ahead of myself, but I think we got the tech down. Because this is going much better.
Yeah, this is pretty smooth compared to last time.
Might actually not have to save this time around, even though if I fall, we'll have to do this over again. I don't know if it will be accurate to say, but Mr. L feels like his role is to be partially a support member of the party. Like, since we don't have dedicated healers, but he's here to kind of mitigate.
You can play it in several different ways. Like, you've seen people play it with Badgersaw using Advancing Strike and just being like, and slapping everyone to keep up their MP while they did the damage and stuff. It's still kind of like, it's only chapter 1 and there's not that many skills, but there's like potential for like different playstyles. I know about Helix. I do not know about Entry and Odyssey. I haven't played either of them, unfortunately.
Helix, definitely check it out when you have the opportunity.
I know about Helix because someone mentioned it last time Shunt streamed Badgersaw.
Lavishing the victory? Nope. I'm lavishing the defeat of my enemy. It's the same thing. No, there's a subtle difference. And that would be... Whoa, again? Oh shit. The beast will throw itself in the Badgersaw's direction. Look out! It barrels itself into the cave wall, and large chunks of rock come tumbling away. The dust settles and the beast is utterly crushed under the cave debris. Whoa! So there was something here after all. Yo! New room that we've never seen before. Well, this is a bit out of place. No. What then? It's pretty cool. Only you. That is a very Badgersaw thing to say. Looks like we murder all their friends, the dogs will run away. We can spend less energy fighting.
That's a good question. I don't think so. It's definitely a product of 2025. But it's It's a hard question. It's kind of postmodern. Like I myself am not unfamiliar with postmodernism, but I don't really agree with it. But I have been influenced by it because I'm of the generation that where postmodern art really like kind of flourished and became popular. So to say it hasn't influenced me would be like incorrect, but because I don't really agree with it as a movement in its entirety, I've kind of been influenced by it by proxy, just by the fact that I'm part of that era. But I wouldn't say that I went out of my way to make a postmodern game.
When you say postmodern, I feel like we're getting 10 layers of ironic now and going full circle into what's pretentious and what's not.
It's just more like because postmodernism is kind of old now, which is funny because it's post, you know, but modernism is like a 20th century movement, and then postmodernism came after that. And it's, as far as art movements are, like people of my generation grew up with postmodernism, and now hopefully we aspire to create something different based on the groundwork which was laid before. And to say that like you're my age and you make something creative and you haven't been influenced by postmodernism, it's kind of hard. It was just too ubiquitous when we were young.
I mean, yeah, it feels like postmodernism has lost its pace, because how long can you go just trying to break the establishment and the existing mold where you're basically just doing whatever you want? And
I mean,
does that
like,
count as art at that point?
it's not particularly popular as a movement anymore.
Oh shit!
But that's mostly because it just like with all art movements, it kind of had its run. Like, but you do see both like stuff that has developed out of a backlash against postmodernism and stuff that has built out of a kind of development of postmodern ideas. Those things both exist like in the current kind of artscape that we live in now.
What sort of art movement do you particularly dig?
That's a good question.
Because me, I'm easily about surrealism art, being like really into weird games in general. I feel like that kind of artwork, be it Dali, Bakshinsky in some capacity, because he kind of like drew a mishmash of horror and surrealism, but those types and Giger, of course. Those are like the
That's an
big three that I
interesting question.
roll with.
One of my favorite artists is probably John Williams Waterhouse, and I'm a big fan of like post-Raphaelite art. I'm actually more into like down-to-earth stuff than surreal stuff, like personally, despite the fact I make weird stuff.
One does not exclude the other.
Yeah.
You can still be very
That's
grounded
true.
in reality and like contemplating about the world we live in, but that doesn't really like stop you for thinking, what if? How would it be if it played out a little different?
Yeah, that's true. And like I think famously Picasso had like a very strong background in like kind of realism before he got into surrealism. Both of them kind of feed into each other. So one is built off the other. So I suppose that plays a part too.
Child's drawing. Icy environment. Isn't that the monument? The what? You surely know what the monument is, Badgersaw. Oh, isn't that the giant tower? Yes. Why would a kid be drawing the monument? Maybe they heard stories about it from their grandparents. It isn't that strange. What's in it anyway? The monument? Nobody knows that. No, old man, the box. What's in the box? Oh, the box. Let me take a look. Tatum places the box on the table and opens it. Sandwiches. Quite a lot of sandwiches. Maybe if we took these sandwiches, we could ration them out at our next rest. That's admittedly not a bad idea. There are a lot of sandwiches after all. But what if whoever left them here comes looking for them? Oh, good point. We don't want some sort of spoiled child running around the cavern looking for us. Might be bad for the child. How about we just take the sandwiches and leave the box? Good idea. I'm all for the acquisition of extra resources. Well, there's more Mafu than any of us could take out of a single sandwich. I beg your pardon? Nothing? Never mind. Sandwiches get. So, we're just taking the sandwiches, packing them back, not even the actual lunchbox. These uncultured barbarians, I swear. They look like spacesuits. What? You know, spacesuits for braving the cold, uncaring vacuum of space. What are you talking about? Like, you know, suits for braving hostile environments, such as space? Don't listen to him, he's talking nonsense again. If I'm talking nonsense, why are these suits here? They're probably used somewhere in this cave. Well, in that case, we should take them. What? We might need them later. Is might need any reason to lug around these gigantic suits? Yes. They need spacesuits. Well, we know where we need those spacesuits. That actually makes the journey across the acid now possible. How will we know what this does? Maybe we don't need to know. But you said to yourself this might be the way out. Or it might be an elaborate death trap. Why would there be an elaborate death trap in this? Menagerie of expensive looking technology. Yeah, I answered my own question, didn't I? Anyway, I think it's best we explore all possibilities. But Badgersaw. What? It's a little man capsule. I mean, if you get inside, that means you're a little man. Is that some sort of attempt to sway me? Well, at least no one can say I didn't try. Well, you tried, old man, but let's not go ahead and say you were successful. It is a stupid idea, but we're gonna do it. Because I'm getting the capsule. From this day forth, let me know that being a little man is not a call away from adventure. You're seriously doing it. Badgersaw ties his sword to his belt and clamps to the little man capsule. See you on the side, chaps. Badgersaw swoops into the scene with a gust of air. Much time passes, but Badgersaw does not return. What's this? But it's actually supposed to be intraversible. Those damned... Did one of them escape? Well, here we got here. I'll put you to good use. Meanwhile, back in the cavern, I don't think he's coming back. Yeah, I'm starting to fear the worst. Perhaps we should make a move. He's stupid enough to find us if he somehow makes it back. Yeah, true. Let's get a move on. Suddenly there's a loud swooshing noise and a figure appears. Tentacle and Mr. L look towards it nervously. It isn't Badgersaw. It looks like this is the end of our adventures. Let's take a step back and reconsider our actions. You know, if you actually would go through with a game over, I wouldn't blame you.
Massive dick move, man.
It would be a massive dick move, but I would respect it. It would be like the perfect homage to all those point and clicks you said that were inspiration for you, because that's exactly the kind of shit they would do back in the day. Oh, you picked this stupid sounding options? Well, too bad. You're dead.
I mean, it is pretty funny, but right after a boss battle, it's just too... it's too much.
Actually, I take that back. You were 100% successful, old man. I'm not getting in. Mr. L smokes under his fluffy, golden beard. I know what you're thinking, but you have not scored anything. Mr. L mutters the word score under his breath. I'm not even sure how to begin to use that. Maybe you could lie down on it. Nah, I'll pass. Badgersaw pokes the screen inquisitively with a finger. It's no use, guys. The thing is busted. At least put some effort into it. You're not even trying. Alright, here it goes, guys. Badgersaw approaches the screen with slightly more force than last time. See? Nothing happens. I guess we're stuck. Maybe try seeing where those pipes lead. Mr. L runs his hand across a series of cables extending from the back of the display apparatus. Guys, that is exactly how I'm getting ready to set up my stream, just so you know. It just works. Looks like there's some kind of switch here. Give it a press. There we go. Also, I find it comedic that these dudes know about space, but apparently computers, no. Not in this run of civilization. We didn't get into that research branch yet. The display boots to life, showing an array of green symbols upon a black background. Huh? What's this? Looks like some kind of... But... I know what you did. I know what you did with this phrase. You're not fooling me, mister. Memology interface. Memology? Yeah, for keeping memos. Wouldn't that be the study of memos? No, guys. It looks like there's multiple. It's like they're talking. Like two characters are being represented by the words and they're talking to each other. Like a book? Yeah, kind of like a book. So it's some sort of fiction. I'm not sure. Maybe whoever wrote it just keeps their memos like that. Xetoil, have you ever read a book about the behind the scenes of game dev, such as Game Over? That's a good question, Golden.
I haven't. I've read some books on the game design process, but I haven't read like any biographies or anything of that nature.
You know, I completely forgot to inquire you earlier, but do you know like video game devs from both the Western and, well, you know, from the Japanese scenery, but do you know like Western developers in person?
Not anyone who's working for any like. I've only ever met devs who are working for like mobile games that no one's heard of. I've never met like a proper, like, you know, well-known kind of company.
Because that was gonna lead me to my next question, which is, if you did, like, how would you describe the differences in mentality when it comes to game dev philosophy?
To be honest, like Japan, America, England, like every single country seems to approach game dev differently. Like I pulled out 3 countries there, but like I mean, like, you know, like places in Europe and stuff. It doesn't really tend to overlap like almost at all in terms of like even studios within the same country kind of tend to do things very differently. So like you get some Japanese companies where people are extremely hardworking and other ones where they just kind of like without saying too much just like blow their budget and basically don't really work and things like this. It's not really a consistent industry.
You mean like Zone, the creator of Toho, who doesn't even like do anything these days besides drinking, letting the fans make new games?
Yeah, I mean, like we've all heard stories about Kickstarter funds being used on like by prostitution and drugs, like, but that actually happens a lot.
Whoa, hold on back there. I didn't know about the prostitution part.
There was like a famous Kickstarter, wasn't there, where they made like loads of money and they like blew it all in like a couple months.
Yeah, but I didn't know that like spent it on the hookers.
Yeah, and I think as well, like I have a lot of respect for Tim Schafer, but I remember there was the Double Fine Kickstarter where they got an obscene amount of money and then they made like 3 or 4 mediocre games with it.
Damn. I mean, like the wildest Kickstarter or crowdfunding situations I know of is definitely Peter Molyneux is a pretty famous example. With
What did he do?
Godus.
I didn't know about this.
So here's the funny part about Peter Molyneux, because you know, him being like a big part of Bullfrog was definitely placing him very high in my regard while growing up.
I mean, in the UK, he's extremely well known.
Yeah, because
yeah.
then he went on to Lionheart Studios, make Black and White, Fable. So all things considered, for like a very long time, he was a highly acclaimed video game developer. But then he left Lionheart and started dabbling into Kickstarters, and apparently just scam people with a lot of money. Especially with projects like Goddess. Although, I don't know if you've heard, but he actually did make an appearance on the Game Awards recently, announcing a new project.
Oh, really? Last time I saw him, he was at a Brexit rally, which I think is really funny.
Well, that's certainly a wild place to spot him. I genuinely hope that this new project he announced ends up being good, and that's gonna be his comeback arc, because he really hasn't worked on anything for years now, so that might be like his last call to turn around the bad rap.
I mean, he probably doesn't need money.
But yeah, like another famous example is Richard Garriott, who used to be in Origin and worked on the Ultima series. He then left, made Shroud of the Avatar, which is like this MMO that was supposed to ride on the Ultima hype and be like a spiritual successor to it, especially the Ultima Online counterpart. But it was like a lot of dodgy practices with the microtransactions in game. And then he tried to get into NFTs with another project before that kind of just died down, and nothing came of it, thankfully. So sad as it is to say, but you really can't. You really don't want to meet some of your heroes, or at least they're not what they seem to be.
It's okay, because Weird Al Yankovic has never had a scandal, so I'm fine.
I'm glad John Romero has always been an upstanding video game developer. Oh, wait. Wait. Oh. It's okay, guys. Daikata never happened. So put in a bunch of weird symbols, can't make sense of it. This isn't a script I've seen before. It vaguely looks like... never mind, I don't know. Looks like there's a bunch of numbers intermixed into a script. Must be some kind of record log or something. Maybe. Anyways, as much of a getting out of this one, let's move on. Consistent entryway. Consistency can be explained away. Those who have already succumbed to paranoia can be dealt with, as we discussed. What concerns me presently is whether or not we can exploit the phenomenon consistently. Out the depth map of all recorded locations that this slipping has occurred. Look for patterns. What happened with Ant Simulator, Golden? I may have heard of it before, but I don't recall off the top of my head. So if you could, like, give me the rundown. What's that, Badgersaw? Are these Eastern Empire characters? That they are. Funky. Tantalum. Can you read them? No, I just know what they look like. Didn't think to ask if I can read them. Because I know you can't. Oh. Hey, this one's, You got excited there for a moment, didn't you? I thought I could read it. What language is this anyway? It's one of those continental languages. Alright, that's why it uses the same script as ours. Not necessarily. Languages of the far west share some characters with ours. Oh, really? Yeah. But this is recognizable from one of the surrounding provinces. Not sure which one, though. Oh, I know this. You do? Yeah, it's one of the coastal languages. Don't the South Coast languages look similar to ours? They're basically identical. Now, this is West Coast. You can tell because of the sibilance. The what? It sounds like snake-like. I see. Sibilance. Huh. Learn something new every day. Well, thanks to the magnificent Badgersaw. Alright, let's move on. A different language from West Coast, that much we know, but none of us can read it. Limitless power. You sure had a field day with this journal section.
Yeah, I cut it down a lot so it wouldn't be too much reading, but I felt like it was good to keep in because it's kind of fun to work out the surrounding like environment based on what they say.
How tough would you say was it to maintain a good balance of combat and storytelling?
Like essentially, the combat in this game is just like a scripted, like scripted challenge fights. Essentially, like it's mostly boss battles, other than the dogs, and like the game, it really is a text adventure more than anything else. So it kind of like a lot of games will have story to break up the battles, but I kind of feel like Badgersaw has battles to break up the story.
Did you always have the turn-based system in mind, or did, for even a minute, you contemplate, wouldn't it be interesting if I tried something else instead?
I would love to make an action game, but it's just like making menus is easy. Making action is hard, and it's simple. As a solo developer, it's just a kind of simple decision. I'd love to make a 3D Badgersaw game, like, but it's not. It's outside the scope, of what I can do by myself.
Did you give an attempt at like 3D animation?
It takes too long even to like do something really basic. So no.
What about if you try to make, say, traditional RPG Maker top-down view game? Do you feel like that would be feasible with the knowledge that you have currently?
Yeah, I could do that, and it was like on the table as something to do. Like that was kind of like one of the first ideas of the game was like, oh, we could make it like this. But I didn't want people to look at it and think RPG Maker, especially since at the time, RPG Maker wasn't like there was no Undertale, there was no Fear and Hunger when I first started thinking about how I'd make this game. So I kind of dropped the idea kind of quickly.
Yeah, when you say you had like the very first draft for this all the way back in 2015, you didn't really have all that much except like potentially, the OGs, Yumaniki off. If my memory serves correctly, date-wise, but yeah. We are putting like a lot of players currently well known off the list.
The very first like major idea was to make it a first-person dungeon crawler, but I didn't have the confidence to make a 3D dungeon because I just didn't know how. So I thought I would hand draw all of the dungeon like sprites, and it just turned out to be way too much work. So I dropped it and I came up with the map system.
I mean, you could always go with the pre-3D rendering way they handled dungeon crawlers, which is just, static screens that you scroll through. But that will be a lot of effort for drawing.
Yeah, it's the amount of art, really. Because the cave isn't like, it's not like a dungeon that they're going through. It's not like a kind of like long corridors and passages. It's these kind of vast, kind of dark expanse and like tunnels, which like all look different colors and stuff. It would have just been really hard to make look good.
Okay, we're done here. In script. What? Aliens? I mean to say it's not local. Not local, hey, like it's from above. Maybe from... This one's written with less cordiality than the others. What's that? Look at the line breaks and the amount of characters per line. Quite the detective, aren't you? Saying what I see. Nicely observed. And that leaves... Hey, what does RE mean? Resident Evil, obviously. No idea. What's it say? Understood. I have assigned one team to remain for security maintenance. Well, that's enlightening. That's all? There's some more, but it's written in some undecipherable runes. I see. At least this one. Trace at least 7 figures. The main programmer trusted his business major friends with the money. Long story short, his friends wasted the money and no game was made. Oof. That really has to suck for the dude who had confidence in his friends that they all just blew away the money. Because that's extra shade on the guy for trusting them in the first place. Hey, what's that one on the side? Which one? Tandem points to the screen with an air of authority. That's, door controls. Let's check it out. Please insert key card. Well, that answers that. That answers nothing. Wonder if we can find a key card. Badgersaw warily reaches for the switch at the back of the system. With a single push, the display is set to rest. So the okay, apparently I still can get the acid. Which is funny because we'll be walking by acid soon. And after we slay these, well, doggos. I mean, I know a lot of people, even if jokingly, are gonna ask this question, but in future updates, will we be able to pet the dog?
That's actually a hilarious question, and the answer is that you're kind of petting them, just instead of petting you, you're bashing them over the head.
You're lovingly caressing them with your sword. You can have some downtime, Mr. L, to recharge. Oh, I just had a cool idea. Since that locket revives HP for the person wearing it, I mean, technically you could swap it to different folks in between battles, so they could all regain some HP partially.
Indeed, you could.
See, guys, I'm already establishing meta for Badgersaw. I think that's like one of the more hilarious parts about playtesting games before they are about to come out. And you're kind of setting the groundwork, and the question is, how much is the final game going to be different, and will your tech carry through to the final product?
I'm hoping I don't have to change anything after watching you play this.
Hey, this stuff is surely acidic, right? Yeah, I guess so. Alright, let's just... What's the matter? It's gross. I don't want to touch it. Pack it in. Fine, I'll do it. No! What? I will do it. But you said you don't want to. Sometimes you gotta do what you... Tantum scrapes a sample of the pink goo during Badgersaw's pivotal moment of indecision. Alright, I got some. What? I mean, great, good job. I hope this will be worth it. Considering it'll be my own concoction, me too. Me free. The floor. Gross and tangy. So supposedly now we have all the ingredients to make that bomb Tantalum was talking about. So let's go back to the fireplace.
I think you need to pick the. I think you need to pick the flower up again.
I thought I did that.
I think that it came to life and ate tantalums late.
Are you messing with me right now?
No. When you reload the save file, I think we were talking. When you reload the save file, it happens.
Oh. Oh, so you're implying that you need to do it in a specific order?
Yeah, you need to grab the flower last. So you can
Oh
go
boy.
now and...
Well,
Oh, well, never mind.
here's Jackie. What is this nonsense? I agree. Well, here we go. If I think about it, I probably should have swapped the medallion to Mistral, but we can pull through. I believe in my boys. Whew. Boy, am I glad I gave you that health recharge. Let's go, boys. Well, now I know that this creature is gonna be chasing us. I want to save soon. Jackie, please. I need you to kindly bug off. Oof. I'm gonna drive this close to home, I feel. Please, Mr. L, don't go down on me right now. Oh. Oh,
Well, that's a bug.
oh shit. That was actually what I was referring to with the broken save files. That actually happened to all the party members. All the sprites were overlapping. Well, you say that's a bug, but I call it a feature. Oh dear. Oh, now it's going to shambles. Listen, if you ignore the problem, it's not there. I say we ignore the problem.
Oh, I forgot to have my mic on. When you get scroll down, scroll down, scroll down. Don't press ignore. Scroll down so I can see what the code says. Scroll down. Okay, keep scroll. Okay, stop. Up. Scroll up.
Like
scroll up.
troubleshooting, guys.
Scroll up. More up. Okay, stop. Okay, down. Okay, I'm going to just print screen this. Okay, thank you. I've got that. I'm gonna fix this bug. Okay, it's a really rare bug. You can press ignore.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
This will happen every turn until the end of the fight. But it's fine. You can press
Oh boy.
ignore. It's not game breaking.
Listen, if I die, it's because of this. It's not because I'm not playing optimally.
You beat him. Jesus
Oh,
Christ.
with Badgersaw and one health.
Okay,
Jack
press not.
rides around, flying,
It should be fine
kicking
now.
as the party
It
deliver
should
the
be
killing
fine now.
blow. The creature plummets to the ground, kicking up the dirt as it bleeds profusely. With a final whimper, the beast falls silent. Well, that was a nightmare. Hopefully there are more creatures of this caliber roaming around. Hey, do you see that? In the faint light of the cave, a small silver glint extrudes from Jacqueline's mouth. Oh, I see why it was glitching out. Or at least why I thought it did. It's because in the demo, you fight him a couple of times.
No, what happened, if you want to know, is when he glares at Mr. L and Mr. L's MP is low, it adds recharge to Mr. L's status like effect, so it forces him into recharge. But what I didn't consider was that if he is already recharging when he gets glared, it will give him another shot of recharge, which then messes up with the game, because when the game goes to check his status, he's got the same status twice.
What you're trying to say is that this was planned from the get-go.
It would just be one line of code to fix it, so it's okay. But it's good that you found that, because this is one of those things where you can playtest a game 100 times, but that one specific situation makes a bug, so it went missing. You know.
I think those sandwiches piled up to one more save option. Well, I mean, that was good progress, so I'll definitely take that as a win. Anyway, let's head for these flowers. Can grab the flower now. Sure, it's safe. I guess we make it straight away. We don't have to worry about it being attacked again. Take care. Yeah. Alright, let's head back to camp. Okay, let's get this potion ready. Badgersaw clasps his hands together visibly, the most excited of the group. So, what do we do? Well, first we'll need some fire. We have fire. Oh, yeah. Well, first we do some of this. And then some of that. Tantalum pulls out a glass flask from within his coat. Where did you get that? I always carry glass bottles wherever I go. For why? Tantalum stares at Badgersaw blankly. For why? I make potions. Oh yeah. Is it done? Not yet. Stop complaining, Badgersaw. I didn't even say anything. Okay, it's done. Woo! Show it. Tantalum pulls out a flask full of a reddish wax. Oh. What is it? It's the motivating bomb I told you about earlier. Oh, really? I guess I can keep it then. Sure. What does it do? It's motivating. Is that it? Give it a sniff. Wow. I feel inspired. Yeah, it's great, isn't it? Do we all get one? No. Why not? Because I only made one. Can you make more? No. Why? Don't feel like it. I thought it was supposed to be motivating. It's an abstract kind of feel. Alright. Let's get a move on. Sure. Obtain equipment. Motivating balm. It exhumes a motivating aroma. Every time you would gain MP, gain one more. What the hell is this icon? Zone that recovers some motivation. Oh yeah, we got that in the laboratory, didn't we? Fair enough. Every time you gain MP, gain one more. I feel like Mr. L is gonna get a lot of that, because you'll be able to charge faster. Let's go with that. Oh, now we can have fun exploring the new areas. When designing the creatures, did you have any like particular vibes you were going for, or whatever came to mind?
Yeah, I wanted the game to have a strong contrast between the like kind of fantastic and kind of silly vibe of the main characters and the kind of reality of the danger that they're in. So instead of making like goblins or something like that you would normally see in like a fantasy setting, I thought like what if you saw in real life would be terrifying, and that's where the idea of the dogs came from.
It is definitely opening up a lot of possibilities when you intertwine sci-fi elements into a fantasy setting, because, well, at that point, nothing really constricts you besides your imagination. What kind of boundaries you set upon the world of the game?
I grew up watching Spider-Man cartoons, and one of the things that always appealed to me in Spider-Man is how, like, it's a superhero show, but it's actually a science fiction show. Like, it's always got high, like, what's the word? Like high fantasy levels of science fiction going on.
You mean the
Despite fact
90s
it's about
cartoon,
beating
right?
up bad guys. Yeah, the 90s cartoon. Yeah.
I watched that shit, and it
when-
always amazed me how just insane it
Yeah.
gets later on.
There's like dimensional travel, and they go to other planets.
Oh
and stuff
yeah,
like this, but,
when
like,
you when
you're
you
like,
think about it, that
what
was
is
the
this?
first example of the multiverse, and now I feel like, oh shit, my mind is blown.
Yeah, and I really liked that how like what's Spider-Man? You think of it, it's a guy who swings around New York and beats up bad guys, and then you actually watch it, and it's this crazy science fiction show. I really liked that, and I think that inspired me a lot when I was designing Badgersaw.
It really freaked me out as a kid watching those Man Spider episodes. Oh. Well, this is unusual. Badgersaw's eyes finally make contact with the thing which has been contesting his companion's attention. So he has finally seen it. I'm literally speechless. Ah, come on guys, is it any worse than the legless duo we saw like a scene ago? I refrain judgment. Nah, this is definitely worse. Do you think that they all speak in unison or like argue over who gets to talk? Do you think they actually talk? Only one way to find out. The many faces. What are you? What kind of biological abomination has this many heads? The many faces stare ahead in silence, immobile as if welded to the wall. There is no response. So I think maybe you have to express it more as a question, less of an exclamation to get a reaction. Oh, right. Excuse me, physical sin against nature. Privy, what BD? The many faces twist and turn uncomfortably, snarling and disfiguring until a rough 2/3 of them are facing Badgersaw. The voices come as a cacophony, muffled into intermixing layers that each head fails to keep sync with the rest. We are the enzymes of the stomach layer. You what now? The many faces shift back into motionless apathy. What do you do here? What exactly do you do here? Hey, that was wise. Before Badgersaw can finish his sentence, the swarm of disaffected dregs turn into several unrelated directions, some looking towards the ceiling, some the floor, and a small majority directly tend to them. We are responsible for the process of digestion and refinement in the stomach layer. This just sounds dumb, to be honest. Hey, Badgersaw, be respectful. We concur with the blue one. We much well received to have a more polite tone. This has suddenly become a mildly infuriating experience. Mr. Earl is silent, but he smirks. Why are you here? That was a surprising question, Badgersaw. Yeah, I know. Are you insulting me? Before Badgersaw could confirm Tantalum's intentions, his original question was returned post-reflection. We do not know. Perhaps there is some god, an all-powerful, post-flesh being that conceived of lesser creatures and knows all that is and that is to be. How much time did you spend on that animation in particular?
It took a very long time.
Days? Weeks?
No, probably, actually, surprisingly, probably like 6 to 8 hours, so like a normal kind of like pin-up piece.
Did you just do it in one sitting, or did you have to take breaks?
I did like 1 to 2 hour sessions over like a week.
The question is unanswerable, but it does need into our mind occasionally. I think about what I said. before Badgersaw? That was an awful question. Ugh. How is life? What is this life you mentioned? We don't process the material required for system sustenance. No, I think what he means is like, has anything interesting or worth mentioning happened recently? The heads all look at one another quizzically, crawling in and out of the wall and appearing in different parts of the fleshy surroundings. After a brief period, they settle, and look their eyes ubiquitously on tantalum, define your time frame. Well, you know, the last 6 weeks. Did you think that time frame was appropriate? I didn't. Just came up with something to move the conversation. If Marcel could finish the sentence, the simulacrum of faces flash across the visible flesh space, seemingly processing the question. We have observed several species of unknown flesh material transferring the space between our realm and the prime systems. Well, that was a mouthful. Indeed, quite a prompt for follow-up questions. You are disgusting. The wall does not respond. Fair. Can you tell me more about the species of the unknown flesh material? State your quarry, and we shall form a response. Right. What should I say? What creatures have you seen? What exactly were these unknown flesh material creatures? They were in similar stature to you and your companions. The main fleshback is type female, evidenced by her supple musculature. So the bad guy is a girl. Why are you just assuming there's a villain? Would be a really good adventure without a villain. Are you hoping for a good adventure? She was in but one way evidently your superior, Purple One. What? She had succeeded in the removal of all cranial hair. What's that supposed to mean? Stupid haircut. So this woman is bald. Is there anything else you can tell me about her? The female, the clean cranium, has pallid gray skin and phenomenal leadership. So she is the bad guy. Sees your wishful thinking, boy. She has been observed cavaliering investigations into the Beyond Chambers. Cavaliering? Yeah, I was also surprised that a horse could fit down here. I don't think we should assume that the number of wall faces making accurate word choices consistently. What? Nothing. Never mind. So, like, these investigations, do you, like, know anything about them? The activities of a female of the clean cranium elude us. Well, that was helpful. She passes beyond our consciousness, and from the world outside, we can sense rapture. I do not believe, for a minute, that at least half of this terminology is in your everyday use.
You know, but I don't know how it comes out when I start typing.
Bro just spitting out rhymes. The world is ending. I think they mean like vibrations. Vibrations. What do they mean vibrations? Investigations. Vibrations. Grey skin. Are they by any chance digging? The world does not respond to Badgersaw's question. I wonder what they must be digging. What is this place? So this is our cave complex. What exactly is it? We are only responsible for the digestion function. The extraneous systems are unknown to us. The extraneous systems. You mentioned something about extra rigorous systems. Extraneous. Yeah, whatever. The body is composed of an array of specialized systems, including the pancreas and heart. I see. What do you see, Badgersaw? Don't you find any of this just a little bit ridiculous? If I took that attitude, I might lose motivation to continue. Looks like she's got you all figured out, Mr. L. The grumbling continues. The pancreas. Can you tell me about the pancreas? It is like us, only more imbecilian. How the enzymes demeaning their own intelligence? Sure, sounds that way. The answers remain silent. The heart. What can you tell me about the heart? The heart must be protected. Oh, for real? The digging must cease. The faces begin swimming around the wall, squirming to the surface like bubbles, form on boiling water. That digging really seems to dig at them. What? Looks like we've gone for everything. Massive floor drop. I'm happy to be
I
out
was
of
like
here.
giggling to myself that whole time.
What, my reading of it?
Just the whole exchange is so funny.
Bro,
Even though I wrote it myself,
I
don't really
generally
get
have
bored of
to
it.
take a sip of water now because I feel like I strain my vocal cords to the fullest, trying to sound like way more educated than I actually am. Also, I am a fan of those incredibly low definition mushrooms. Just sprinkle on the wall there.
Yeah, man.
It looks like we can do some stuff here. Helpful. Tentum and the shore drive peers longingly into the darkness. Along the walls, a faintly fluorescent glowing fungus litters the cavern. It looks like some kind of mine shaft. A mine shaft that we can potentially do some stuff in. You let them get to you too much, Mr. L. Perhaps. What was that, guys? Are you discussing something? No. None of your business. As the party leader, it's definitely my business. And who made you the party leader? No one else was doing it, so I usurped the position. Mr. L twitches nauseously, unable to muster a response. Come on, let's go. Hey, that's my line. In this way, the party exits the stomach. So now we, guess we can look around. Tentom seems fixated on the glowing mushrooms guiding the party's way. What's the matter? Something caught your eye? I think I recognize these plants. Those aren't plants. Yeah, fungus, right, whatever. I still don't appreciate the delineation of category. Mr. is technically in the right, you know. These are edible. You say what now, boy? We can eat these. We just have to heat them up a little. Hey, old man, you can do that sparkling, right? We can't make a fire here. We only need to singe them a bit, like a kind of kebab style thing. Alright, I'm willing to give it a go. Oh, right, might also be worth mentioning that these mushrooms have regenerative qualities. Say what now? They'll like restore one person's strength. You know, a little bit. So judging by the scarcity of the product, it's best not to share. I mean, you can all have a taste. I guess we have to decide as a group who will munch on this occasion. Yeah. Well, here's the party leader. The party takes a little bit of time to collect and skewer a few mushrooms. A small flame extends from Mr. L's fingertips, and the two wait whilst he slightly singes the mushrooms. Alright, let's try these. Not bad, actually. Thanks, Tent. No problem. Hey, another change in perspective. We got that top-down view I was referring to earlier. Our protagonists emerge into a spiraling concourse of rock and rubble. The center winds down into darkness, as if traveling to eternity. Looks like there's something on the other side of this precarious walkway. Okay guys, yeah, I'll go first, no big deal. Badgersaw leads the party across the walkway. In the center, barely visible within the darkness, is a large gestating orb. It is glowing faintly. As the party trail around the walkway, the orb's glow intensifies. It doesn't seem to be getting any closer, but as their eyes get used to the unusual thing, its glow grows more magnificent. And as if reaching out to the three adventurers, its shape? That sounds weird.
Yeah,
You might want to have to phrase that a little differently. Probably just drop the D. Its shape begins intruding, almost as if growing. Around there are several tough-looking chains, which extend down into the darkness and appear to wrap around the thing tightly. A Dolokam bellows from below. Whoa. Watch your step. This must be the heart those demented wall creatures spoke of. Looks like it. We're just gonna look around everything, really. It seems to be some sort of force of immeasurable power. What's the matter, old man? Looking for a way to take advantage of the immense magical power? Ain't no such thing as magic. Whoa, dude, are you okay? I think it's best to leave him alone for the time being. What do you think it's up with these chains? Beats me. Maybe they're excavating the glowing thing. Mr. L's stare grows increasingly intense. You know what? We better get Mr. L out of here before he dies of hyperventilation. Sounds like an idea. Damn, that's deep. Better watch our step. What do you think would happen if we fell and landed directly on top of the magical orb? Ain't no magic in that orb, boy. Perhaps it would suck us into an infinite void of magnificent incandescence, leaving us brain scarred, unable to reintegrate with modern society. Don't do it, Badgersaw. And just what is it you were thinking I would do? Push him into the orb. Damn, you're perceptive. You're moving your arms in a pushing motion against his back. Huh. Suppose I am. Whoa, it's full of holes. What are you talking about? The walkway, man. It's full of holes. Tantum lets out a long and exasperated sigh. But you know, despite the holes, this walkway looks surprisingly stable compared to the rest of the contraptions we see in this cave. Guess whatever lies beyond this point must be pretty important. Mr. L stares at the chasm below the walkway, at the pulsating orb below. His expression is a mirror of fear and awe. However, nobody seems to notice. Scarce who could inquire about the orb, but suppose not. Oh, hello. Badgersaw and company leave the walkway at the chasm behind them and emerge in a cramped room full of boxes and machinery. In the middle of the room are two spacesuits identical to the ones that the party wore in order to traverse the previous acid-laden passage. The closest spacesuit has ruptured and is covered in a grimy mud-like substance overflowing from inside. The other suit looks as though it was deliberately torn open. Looks like we may have stumbled upon things in media res. Quite right. I wonder how long ago this place was last used. Doesn't seem to be recently. Anyway, let's look around. If there's any way out of this place is probably where we find it. Fair point? Well, I can't help but notice that weird, keycard looking thing in the spacesuit. Badgersaw and company get a bit closer to the ruptured spacesuits. Oh, 30 years of war. You up? Tetlum suddenly goes silent. Well, this is demotivating. A sorry sight indeed. Upon closer inspection, one of the two suits houses the mutilated corpse of some poor, now unrecognizable fellow. I was not ready for this. It looks as though the fellow was shredded to ribbons with extreme prejudice. This could be one of those dogs could do it. I would imagine the dogs would tell themselves to throw up in his own mouth a little bit. Yeah, the dogs would probably eat the thing. This is simply brutal. Macabre. Hey, what? What's this shiny thing sticking out of its... where the stomach would be? Well, aren't you the better adventurer? I don't like being party leader anymore. Well, too bad, you usurped the position. Ugh, this is awful. I know, right? Responsibility. Who needs it? Badgersaw gingerly reaches out, holding back his better instincts, urging him to release his last set of rations all over the mutilated corpse. It's like a smooth, flat piece of metal. I wonder what it could be for. It would be pretty fun if it was useless. Oh, so you're the big joker now. Somebody has to do it, I guess. Cabinet. Badgersaw smashes the glass of the cabinet with his sword. Why did you do that? Instinct. I broke it. Not even anything aside, just go absolutely ham. For no reason. It's an interface of some sort, but appears to be turned off. It's some sort of complex set of levers and pulleys to control some sort of mysterious, I guess something to do with those chains drummed against the ceiling. There's a ceiling. I mean, yeah, it's the chain reactor. As gross as stuff is something I will not do. Glad to see even evil has standards. Wouldn't want to get glass all over it. Gotta be sure to get between those crevices. Badgersaw rubs the panel furiously with a beard. And so the might beer has been infused with a healthy dose of grime. What are you thinking? If I just... There we go. The chain reductor is nice and clean now. Why, you... It's not on. Okay. In that case... We are indeed going back into the stomach. What the hell? Oh. Yo. I mean, that's the closest thing you can put at a jump scare to the game. Holy shit.
Good reaction.
Ooh, 9 damage even with the rock skin. That is quite the punch. Ugh. What an endless cess... What was that? Badgersaw, stand down. The wound looks bad. Try not to get hit again for a while. Don't get hit. What great advice. Oh, bleeding. Oh, wow. Whew. Strel, you need to watch over our boys here. May have found out to slash one of the explorers open. And by God, are they a fan of Nightmare on Elm Street? No, really, they're just those are just Freddy Krueger's gloves. Are you actually a fan of this series?
I've watched a lot of the classics, like slasher movies.
You big on horror?
Yeah, I like horror.
Oh boy. Well, that was a rude awakening. Anyway,
I have to be right
new...
back for 2 minutes. You can keep playing.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna read this because it's a new game over.
Cool.
So you do you, buddy, and come back whenever you feel confident. Tantum has been defeated. The creature slips into the shadows between the machinery. Damn it. Where did it go? It's almost dead. I can feel it. On the back foot, retreating. No, damn it. I want its corpse. Suddenly, a sharp white sound echoes from behind them. Badgersaw and Mr. turn around, only to see the thing skewering Tantalum from behind. Why, you? Badgersaw runs headfirst into it and pushes Tantalum's barely breathing body off from its claws. The body lands at his feet with a thud. Where did it go? Back into the shadows. 7 rings just bring the cave down. What? Bring the whole bloody cave down, damn it. We will destroy this thing. Do you mean to kill us all? Damn it. Badgersaw loses his cool amongst the chaos. Tetum, get a hold of yourself. Come on. Badgersaw tries to lift him off the ground. Don't let your guard down. Suddenly, the coral creature leaps down from above. Badgersaw reacts just in time to move away and counterattack. The creature attempts to parry his blow, but he overpowers it and breaks its limb. Take that, you cretin. It shrieks and cowers. Together, Badgersaw and Mr. L finish it off. When they are sure it's dead, they go back to Tantalum. He is no longer breathing. There was nothing we could do. To hell with all this. Badgersaw. What, old man? Is it all going to get better? No, it's just what? What could you possibly say? Do you want us both to die too? Yeah, right. Always a stoic. Who cares if we both die? No way in or out of here anyway. You don't know that. We're very close to finding the exit. Yeah, me and you. What do you mean? The three of us were supposed to leave here. Look, Badgersaw. No, I get it. Nothing left but to carry on. So let's get going. Okay. The two leave Tantalum behind and continue their journey. Well, that was pretty somber. Anywho. That is before we made the thingamabob, right? So we have a little bit of catching up to do.
There's one thing that I think that the text that says this is like for some reason not in the game, but after you try and push Mr. L into the orb, you should unlock another skill with Badgersaw. So just after you do that scene, just check the status. The inventory screen, you should have a new skill.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think
I
might
definitely
have
didn't
patched the
see
line
a
out by
prompt for it,
accident or
so
something.
if anything unlocked, I wouldn't know.
Yeah, I've got a couple like changes I've got to make to the final build, I think, thanks to watching you play it. Small things, but like with a big impact.
Hey man, you got less than 2 weeks. There's still plenty of time to carry out some final touch-ups.
Yeah, probably a patch. I'll probably do a patch on Monday or something like that.
Did you actually go for a lot of troubleshooting before this was ready in your eyes to
Yeah, tons
get
of
off the press?
troubleshooting. Really, the big thing is that glitch that you found when you were fighting Jacqueline, and some small spelling mistakes, and like that line is missing, obviously, and like a grammar mistakes in some places. I think most of them you haven't actually noticed, which is good.
Keep in mind, when you're playing such a surreal, borderline experience such as this, half the time you'll be asking yourself, is this what the game developer truly intended? And that's how you cleverly mask all of the, you know, shortcomings.
Yeah, there is an element of that too.
Oh, whoops.
You can hold control to skip dialogue.
Thank you, that will come in handy. It says skipping, but
in the settings it will be set to only skip text that you've already read, and I think that that's why it's not skipping. So you have to open up preferences.
got it. Well, that's okay. I don't mind clicking through all this again. Just get to see this almost troll face come out of the egg again.
Yeah, it's great, isn't it?
Peak character design. Hive minds are truly the top of the character design aesthetic, and you can't convince me otherwise.
I'm glad you like it, man.
Well, I mean, I am partial to many as one, and the skull pillar that appears in Planescape Torment, because those are basically like multiple characters forming one entity.
Yeah, the skull pit is really cool.
Okay, looks like we done everything. Since I didn't notice it, and it might be because we're fully healed, do these actually like restore HP?
Yeah, they do.
Okay, so you probably don't want to actually waste them.
Going into the upcoming boss fight with no HP is horrible, so I put these in there to give the player a little bit of a cushion.
Oh, in case they didn't rest beforehand.
Yeah, like for example, you just beat Jacqueline or the lake boss and you came immediately here.
That would be pretty brutal, I'm gonna lie. How far would you say I'm currently into the game?
After this, there's basically after this boss fight, you can pretty much end the game kind of quickly. Maybe there's like half an hour to 45 minutes like left, depending on if you die or not.
Gotcha.
And then there is a secret scene which requires that you do a lot of unintuitive things that you can lock yourself out of right before the ending.
Yeah, you weren't
if you
kidding.
go back one save file, you would be able to like do it. So if you wanted to do 100%, it would take a bit longer, but you can end the game like maybe in less than an hour from now.
Gotcha. Repositioning your allies with extreme prejudice. Let's see, we got this. Game has advanced towards your opponent. I'm gonna swap this around a little bit. Then give you the balm again. It's probably not necessary, but for prosperity's sake. Again, with point and click logic, just check every possible option. You know, what would be particularly vile? If in Chapter 2 you did pixel hunting for items.
If what? Sorry?
If for Chapter 2 you did
pixel
hunting
hunting
for items, the tried and trusted classic that we all cherish and love from old-timey video game design. Oh, here we go. Oh, here the events. Good. Seems to cancel it out. Need some of that good RNG to get the crits. Well, that's rare. I feel like enemies lock on more often than they miss their attacks.
It's like a D20.
Oh, nice crit, buddy. Yo, and he doubled it.
Christ, 2 crits in a row.
Listen. Tantalum just needs a little time to warm up. You gotta believe in him. One of the 32 nights of Argo Kraltak was that. Badgersaw was 33 nights. That thing was uncomfortably humanoid. Do you think it was once an adventurer like us? Kind of the corner creature we saw earlier. Christoph Mandel. Yeah, maybe it knows something about this. Was the two-talk Mr. was busy inspecting the corpse? What are you up to, old man? Going to check its stomach? These claws were definitely the thing responsible for the gruesome mess over there. Yeah? Tell us something we don't know. Judging by the 2 spacesuits and the way they are ripped apart, it looks like these 2 creatures most likely came here together. Oh, good point. Guess he told us something we didn't know. So what were they doing? Was this some sort of assassination? There isn't really a way to know that. That thing did have an uncanny assassin-like vibes. Sure did. Let's not speculate on events we don't know anything about. More, the objective is to leave. Let that be our priority. You talk like you're praying. Perhaps there's a part of me that is. You know, I feel like this cave has ended up being far more dangerous and potentially lethal than we initially expected. Probably.
Oh, thanks. Yeah.
You mean we had expectations? Don't listen to him, he's blabbering on again. I kinda feel like we should take advantage of this magical orb somehow to better prepare for the journey ahead. And how we'd go about doing that? Not sure, but I can be conscious of the potential as a start. More nonsense. Yeah, Badgersaw, not quite sure what you mean. It's fine, guys. It's more of an abstract capability. Let's get a move on. And so my power and that of my friends grows stronger. Unlock skill slot 4. Nice. Mr. L isn't gonna have much use for that, but you guys, you can actually do most stuff now. I am a big fan of this stretched tantalum.
I like spent a long time designing that icon for like maximum.
I feel like I could turn that into a potential future emote. Just call it white tantalum.
Yeah, it would be good for the Discord actually. Yeah.
Now we actually get to inspect these mushrooms. Well, Badgersaw is the most damage, anyway. Yeah, but all of them get their health anyway, so that's good. Hey guys, you ever get the feeling a terrible and horrifying presence has entered the vicinity? I don't know what kind of feeling I have Badgersaw, but I don't want to hear any more about it. Probably just my imagination. Well, glad to be out of there again. Why don't we leave the protective suits here in case we need to use them again? Beats lugging them around everywhere. Good idea. The team neatly placed the suits against the wall and continue on their adventure. The claw creature. Hey, did you by any chance encounter a long, slender, many-toothed monster with long, voracious claws? What a description. No, friend, I didn't encounter a long, slender, many-toothed monster with long, voracious claws. I guess that settles that then. I did, however, make acquaintance with many long and slender tall beauties with manicured nails. Oh? Badgersaw, he's wasting our time. Shush, mister, I want to hear about the ladies. Here we go again. Indeed, friend. The presence of the tall ones was in no small part a large motivation to pursue the call to adventure. It was no small part of a large call. Exactly. Before even arriving at our destination, we had heard rumors of a hospitable bunch of tall women seeking adventures. This sounds like a stupid story. Perhaps we can end it early in that case. Yeah, maybe. I am considering it. Crystal continues to stare blankly in the general direction of the protagonist, his smile unflinching. By the way, who is we? Myself as well as the rest of my cohort. There were more of you? It makes sense. Adventurers rarely travel alone. I mean, just look at us. True. So wait, I'm lost. There were no cloud creatures? No, there were a bunch of tall women with manicured nails. Does this even have anything to do with what we wanted to know? No. Forget it. I'm out of here. Thanks, ugly corner thing. No problem, friend. Badgersaw suddenly regrets thanking the thing and walks away. Sure learned a lot from this. This is new. New enemies for default encounters? Why, I'd never anticipate such a turn of events. Oh. I'm not even gonna try and pronounce that. Oh. That's very John Carpenter-esque, if I do say so myself. No, what did he tweet out? If you could link me to, kindly. I have noticed you are quite fond of poison as a tool for bosses.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like efficiency of resources at this point, and they all are in the same environment, so.
May as well. Alright, let me just quickly see what this Wendy good tweet is. Oh shit! Petscop? Oh, I will be peeping this. Truly love Wendigo for being savant when it comes to so many different topics, so vastly different from one another. From like a cold case murder investigations to Bible studies to looking at creepypastas. A man of many talents. Can we get the double crit tantalum? I know I'm pushing my luck here, but that would be nice. Well, he did it, but not quite the damage output. Oh. The monster wildly flays around as if its posing form struggles to fit into the narrow confines of the cave. It's gonna bring the whole cavern down. Damn it, let's run whilst it's disoriented. I don't know, guys, I think we got this? Do we really think we got this? Leg it? Holy sons of underground monarchy, that was intense. That thing. It may well bring the whole cave down. And if we want to proceed, we'll have to get past it somehow. We'll find a way, guys. The only way is to kill it. It's going to come after us. Then we'll just kill it back. Look, we'll find a way. We always do. We better. Is this like your way?
There's a bug. The music hasn't stopped playing.
Oh yeah. Now I can hear it.
Yeah. I need to fix that.
That's another thing to add to the list. Was this your way of like giving the players breathing room by letting them retreat from that encounter?
Yes. Yes. Try loading your save game to see if it resets the music.
Okay.
Just press escape. Press escape.
Nope. I would probably just have to restart the game, period.
Probably have to restart the game, yeah. It's quite a big... this has happened before, but I thought I fixed it.
Okay, we'll be back in a minute. Oh, you thought you were done patching up the game, but no.
Yeah, man, this is the reality of it. It's fine now, isn't it?
Oh. He grew larger. This is genuinely a cool looking design. Reminds me a little bit of the Titanite demon from Dark Souls if it was a little more rough in shape than it is by default. I will say though, for one chapter, I'm generally impressed with how creative you've been with these bosses, because you've got like variants of one that, depending on the progression, you can fight differently. Then you got essentially what's a two-phase here going on, which if you feel ballsy enough, you could take on at once. If you pursue him immediately, does that have a different outcome?
No, but there is like a secret that you can do in the fight, but you've already locked yourself out of it. But
I see.
It's probably best if I don't say.
Okay, well, that's an incentive for you guys to find out. By Badgersaw, coming soon on Steam, March 10th.
I think the music is still bugged, but there isn't really anything you can do about it without resetting, like, and just like going through. So it's probably best to just keep it as it is.
Yeah, like with many things, we'll just pretend that this is intended. Is the critical also a D20? Or is that like a more rare occurrence?
The crits roll is just for Tantalum, and it's got its own algorithm, which is different for each of his attacks.
Oh. How long did it take you to code that in?
Not that long, to be honest.
I think it's when designing all these characters, you already had like a gimmick set for all of them? Or did you just come up with a lot of ideas as you went on?
A lot of the bosses were kind of made. I made them up as I went along. I tried to think how can I like express the mechanics of the game in a unique way with each of the bosses, and just add a little spin on the existing system.
It looks like it's struggling to move in a small place. This is our chance, guys. Let's tail out of here. Stay and fight. Ha! Always in when it counts, old man. Let's go. Yo, we are pulverizing this thing.
Congratulations.
The feral behemoth topples over, bringing down chunks of rock with it. What in the name of adventure was that? It seemed in pain. I guess it's out of its misery now. This is grim. Let's just get a move on. Agreed. Now we jammed the keycard in the apparatus, I think? Or was it the screen? Oh, suddenly and forcefully Badgersaw shoves the cart into the slot. What did you do that for? What? Did you want to discuss it? It seemed to be like whatever road we took, it would eventually end in us putting the cart in the slot. So I cut the middleman and shoved it there myself. Don't just decide these things in an instant, Badgersaw. Before Mr. can finish his sentence, the screen springs to life. Writing administration privileges to personal authorization device. Please insert password. Arrow of dots line the screen. The three look at each other quizzically until Tantalum reaches out his hand and presses the biggest button. You too? Why don't we discuss things? We have no idea what any of this is, and no time for discussions, old man. We need action. What are you on about? Administration privileges written. Please mark the scout and ensure it is not obtained by a member of faculty without unrestricted privileges. I think we achieved something? Take the card. Oh, what is it, old man? Too crooked for action? If you want it so bad, why don't you... Tantalum takes the card out of the slot. Leave him alone, Badgersaw. He's stressed. Alright, sure. Obtain prison keycard. Yeah... probably on those contraptions. Back where the orb is.
There's one room you haven't been to yet, which I think you probably didn't go to it because it wasn't in the demo, but you can actually continue north.
North from here, you mean?
Yeah, from the main passage, you can go north. No, sorry, like from where the tavern is,
Oh,
that long passage, you can keep going north. It wasn't in the demo, so you probably just assumed it wasn't there.
oh
But
yeah.
it's in the
What the
yeah,
hell?
it wasn't in that build of the demo. It's in the current demo.
The party impressed upon a large steel door blocking any advance forward. Imposing. Yeah, I kinda hope it doesn't lead anywhere to. Why would that be? I drew the map horizontally, so if the path continues significantly beyond this door, run out of space. Why don't you draw an arrow or something? My map is my art. What are you blabbering about? Nothing, alright, let's open the door. Tentacle bangs triumphantly upon the door. It won't open. Did you even try to open it? Badgersaw gives the door a light kick. You're right. It won't open. This is ridiculous. I know, why would someone lock a door? Who installs doors in a cave anyway? This is clearly much more than a cave. Indeed. We have stumbled upon the Beyond Cave. No. The cave from beyond. How about what we find out what's beyond the door in the cave? Sure. With the beard in the hand, Badgersaw opens the garbage chute with calculated deliberation. Don't you dare. What's wrong, old man, attached to your scruffy beard? It technically isn't even his beard anymore. Look, Badgersaw, this is more symbolic than it is actual. Look, Mr. L. I have no idea what you want to say. Let's do the right thing, Badgersaw. To do it. I think I'll hold on to it for a little bit longer. Cautiously satisfied. But if we went a little chaotic. Alright, it's going in. No! Badgersaw drops the beard in the chute. Haha, trash deposited. What am I witnessing? Let's look at the panel. It's covered in strange bumps and abrasions. This is supposed to do something. Hey look, there's some sort of big hole on the side here. Tentacle clips the side panel, revealing a large hole with two metal strips on each side. Funky. Maybe it needs some sort of power source? Maybe it needs some sort of power source. Yes, that's what I said. Well, let's keep that in mind in case we happen to find some sort of probable source of power. Please don't make what I said sound stupid. Imagine walking around with a source of power, you'd be like, powerful. Okay, I'm done. Badgersaw presses the card at the card-sized slot on the panel. With a gurgle of mechanical whizzes and burrs, the door in front of them unlocks. Its parts detached to reveal a long ladder, well with 3 ladders. The ladders all point upwards. Score! 3 ladders. How convenient. Let's get out of here. The 3 begin their ascent. Hey, Badgersaw, keep your legs away from me. Sorry, Mr. L, those are my legs. How long are your legs? Come on, guys, keep it together. Almost there. The well is dark, but Badgersaw reaches out and manages to grasp a barely visible hand in front of him. I think this is it, guys. He pushes the cover open. What the... Oh boy, this is such a cacophony of audio effects.
Oh, the music.
Overlapping. This can't be. I didn't expect this. Well, not really sure whether I consider this a win or a loss. But it looks like we're in trouble. Also, the green ones are what I managed to do, and the red ones are still to clear. So, took a trip to a horrifying world. Sounds like a secret. Deposited a thoroughly filthy beard, so... I take it that's not the chute.
You just have to get the beard even dirtier than you got it.
Ah! Okay. I get what you mean. Finished with 3 or more rations left. Escape the cave in under 99 steps. So, challengers. In case you wanna see how well you can play, you got some incentives here. With, I imagine more to come. Thanks for playing. You can continue from this save once Chapter 2 is released. Well, that was fun. If the
I had fun
demo,
watching too.
if the demo got me hooked in this game, I would say Chapter 1 really sold me, because you went above and beyond just with those boss designs, dude. Like the way
Oh, thank you
the
so
combat
much.
flows and each encounter feels different. How you're meant to approach it is, it's really good. That
I'm
is
glad,
quality
I'm
game
glad to hear
design in
that.
my eyes.
I was really worried that the demo was like better than the whole chapter, but what you said has like calmed me down.
So yeah, guys, I'm gonna throw a link onto the Steam page real quick. And yeah, if this catches your interest, do put it in your wishlist and consider buying once it drops on March 10th. Because as someone who considers himself a purveyor of quirky indie RPGs, I do have to say, Vincent, you have made an RPG, it's indie, and you got the quirky part, so congrats.
Well, thank you so much, man.
You made it, man.
Really happy to hear that.
So, yeah. Is there anything you would like to say to our viewers at home?
Well, guys, thank you for watching, and thank you for your nice comments throughout the whole stream. It really meant a lot. And it comes out on the 10th, so you know, if it piqued your interest, there's some stuff that you haven't seen in the stream, so you know, finding that out and stuff. And there's also a Discord. Shunt, do you want to link the Discord as well? Maybe that would be quite nice.
Yeah, sure thing. If you
Let
can
me
just
link it,
yeah, you can probably just link it on your own if you want to.
I'm not logged into Twitch actually, so you'll have to do it.
Oh, okay.
Let me send it
Throw
to
me
you.
in on DMs and I'll post it. So there's the Steam page for Badgersaw.
There you are, Shunt. There's the link.
Oh, geez, I didn't even notice that the Discord stream reset. Sorry about that.
No, that's right. That's right.
Right, and there you go. Hope you guys enjoyed this pretty much first for the channel, because we had game devs show up in the middle of a stream before, but not an actual live Q&A with one. So it's been a pleasure, Vincent, and you're more than welcome to come on anytime you feel like it, especially if it's involving your games.
Yeah, we'll see in the near future. Thanks for having me, though. This was really fun. It's nice to watch you play and to talk.
No problem, man. Yeah, I wish you luck in your endeavors. Hopefully this game does well when it drops. And thanks for including me in this early preview.
No, thanks for streaming it for me, man. I'm gonna go now and fix those bugs. And yeah, looking forward to the full
How
release.
many bugs do we count?
There were 2 major bugs and a couple of just inconsistencies and stuff that probably went over everyone's head.
Well, remember, lads, we'll have most of the bugs fixed, and if you notice anything funky still, remember, it's a feature. It was meant to be there.
Thank you.
All right, man. Well, a good one to you, and again, pleasure to have you here.
All right then, same. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you guys for tuning in, and more streams coming up soon. I don't know when exactly, but, well, you'll know when you see one. Take it easy.
Yeah, see you later, guys.